Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
Sports bettors, we've all been there. You have a live bet lined up, you check the odds one more time, place the bet only to see the bet delayed by the spinny wheel, line move, and your bet rejected. My name's Alex Kane, and I'm the founder and CEO of Sportrade, Arizona's newest sports betting app. At the core of the Sportrade offering is our probability-based odds. In other words, the Cardinals may be offered at 55% odds to win, a lot simpler than minus 125. Place your bet at 55% odds, and as your win probability changes, so does the value of your bet, giving you the ability to cash out with total control. And the best part, no spinny wheels. Live bets on Sportrade are instantly accepted. Download Sportrade on your iPhone today and use code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet in your first week. Terms apply.
Sportrade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
My pain is considerable, but that prescription is dangerous.
The side effects of my medicine are worse than my condition.
I'm in recovery. I can't take those pills.
When faced with a health crisis, you shouldn't have to choose between risks.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves immediate physical symptoms without having you take a bunch of pills. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Friday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He'll be back Monday, but we got Keon Rose in the control room. Ralph from Harman Solar is joining us, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, broadcasting live in the Harman Solar studios in Scottsdale. And Big George says he's been quiet lately because now he's on day 3 of Paxlovid. He was all filthy with the COVID. He thinks he got it from Ralph.
Oh, geez.
Through the radio. Since that's how I first got COVID was from Ralph.
No, you didn't.
In the studio. And but he says he's feeling better, and that's all. So, anyways, we hope you do get well soon, George. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We've got the divisional round of the playoffs coming up this weekend. Is getting whittled down. We got 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday, and that's it. And then after that, we get 2 games. And then after that, we got to wait a while, and we get a game. Yeah. Gonna miss it.
It's over.
I know. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to have to start going to Home Depot and doing stuff. Anyway, Mr. Wilbur says, TGIW, boys.
Thank God it's the weekend.
No, he says, thank God it's Wilbur. No, we're not playing that game, Miller. Not playing that game. Chief Skull says, Ralph is a cesspool of infectious germs. He's not wrong.
I didn't give anybody anything. You gave me COVID.
That's funny. I didn't even mention that just now. But it's on your mind because you have a guilty conscience.
You just said it because of Big George.
A while ago. It was ages ago.
ages ago. What,
It was-
3 seconds?
It was so long ago. I
You are
can't
getting
even
old.
remember.
If you can't remember like 5 minutes ago, you are getting that old.
I feel like it wasn't 5 minutes. I think you're just being a whiny little bitch right now. That's what I think.
Wow.
King Kitten says, "Hey, suck it, Ralph."
Okay.
Noted.
Noted. Yeah. All right.
I like how Ralph was holding up his little Rams towel. You know,
I got it behind me. You can see it. So
yeah, before the show.
it's a nice towel.
Wow, I'm so glad I've got another memorabilia for my. Was this your third team or second team after your first team?
It's my second team.
Who's your third team?
I don't have one.
You liar! I bet you do.
I don't.
Inside your division.
They weren't when they were. So,
Okay, but they are now.
but they're not.
But they are.
Your
Mentally, they'll
towel
always be not.
on the chair back there is making your Seahawks thing on the wall sad.
No, it's not. They
It's
get
making
along.
it sad. They don't get along.
They're friends.
No, they're not.
Sure, they are.
In what universe, man?
They're friends.
Okay.
Donnie says you're a fraud.
What?
I don't understand how he's a fraud.
Look, don't be mad at me about what happened Monday, Donnie. I had
No,
nothing
the
to
real
do with it.
fraud is the Vikings. Okay, let's just all agree to that. The real fraud is the Vikings.
I mean, they could get their butts whooped pretty bad. So
fraudulent 14 and what? And then, but no, Ralph, that you, I don't get it. You know, you're not going to get us to be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to talk us into it, so we don't need to go there.
if you guys can't expand your horizons, I mean, that's on you. Live in your little world.
Horizons?
Yeah.
It's not about horizons. You got a team. You got loyalty.
I have a loyalty to my team. I bet you have a second team. There's somebody else you pull for.
I do not have a second team.
Really? So when we get to the Super Bowl, you won't be pulling for a team.
No, at that point, I'm.
It's okay then.
I can pull for a team, but it's not like they're my
Why?
team. I don't have any memorabilia on my wall like
It's a
you
towel.
And
of
none of them
other
are in the
things.
same division. In fact,
I don't own a jersey.
I don't root for any team in
or
the
a
same
hat.
conference.
Look, we've had this conversation a million times.
And you've lost it.
I've had
every
this
time.
conversation with my listeners on Sunday, and they side with me against you guys. They
They
think
really
you guys
don't.
are wrong. No, they do. They
As
actually say
silly as
guys
you
are
are.
wrong.
I don't.
Well, you tell both of them.
They're
We
more-
disagree.
just because look, if there was some other team that that everybody's like, oh look, the Dallas Cowboys, they're in Texas. That doesn't make any sense that they're in the NFC East, and then some other team gets pulled into the NFC East. I now hate them, and I don't care if I liked them before.
Hate them.
That's the divisional rival. You're in the way of us getting anywhere. I hate you,
Yeah.
and I will not be rooting for you anymore.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
how that's supposed to work.
But
you
have no-
either hate them or you're indifferent to them, like peasants.
But you have no emotional connection to them. You have no history with them. I do. There's a difference. That's what you don't seem to
That's what
understand.
I understand,
but you don't
can't-
accept it.
But you can't root for them. Also, that is, you just can't.
Only time I root for them is when Seattle's out. Never before.
That
This
doesn't
is,
make
uh,
any sense.
This is Ralph explaining his mistress.
A couple of them, yeah.
Fat Flipper says, Ralph, now that your first three favorite teams got eliminated, how do you feel about the Rams' chances?
I think they're slim.
Yeah, we'll do our picks here in the next hour.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
I'm not stupid. I mean,
Chief Skull says, I root for the Vikings and the Cardinals for football. If I have an AFC team, I'd vote for it to be the Broncos because when I was younger, I got an old school Broncos helmet for Christmas.
see,
These
Nothing wrong with that.
these aren't real reasons. So here's the thing. I'm a Colts fan, and
Sorry.
I have had to learn to appreciate other teams. And I will root for a team I like or some players that I like. I own no other stuff than Colts stuff. I don't own anything Rams. I don't own anything. There's nobody in my division I would ever own anything for, but I don't own any Chiefs stuff. I don't own any Patriot stuff. I don't own anything other
Cardinal
than no Cardinal stuff. 0% Cardinal stuff.
In
My
your house,
wife
there's-
has because she's a fan. I'm not. So, but personally, me, no, I'm not. No, sorry, can't do it.
okay. Well, I mean, you're closed-minded. That's fine.
And you shouldn't do it.
You should.
You shouldn't. You really shouldn't. But keep talking, get yourself into it being okay.
We're not a monogamous society anymore. It's pretty.
Boy, you almost got both those words out.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Monogamy is just not a thing anymore. So,
Well, it's supposed to be
But
when you're
it's not.
committed.
but it's not.
Yeah, but you committed.
I know, but it's not.
When it comes
Well,
to,
we committed. I
when,
guess you
when,
did.
when it comes to teams, that's just
I'm talking about
Yeah.
team monogamy. I don't know what you're talking about.
So,
that's
Chief
exactly what I'm
Skull,
talking about.
Is Ralph now discussing his favorite show, Sister Wives, by saying monogamous?
Monogamous. Yes.
Monogamous.
It's a good word.
Lost Toby says, what's his wife's stance on monogamy? What's her stance on mahogany? That's what I want to know.
She likes both.
Yeah, mahogany is just, it's very nice.
Makes for a good solid desk.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Good solid desk.
Very nice.
Sturdy.
So we're going to talk a lot of football today. That goes without saying, but let's talk about a few things leading up to that. Is it my imagination? Because there's drinking involved. Is it my imagination, or did the Phoenix Suns win a game against the Wizards?
It's not your imagination, and they were up by as much as 20 before they nearly gacked the whole thing away in the fourth quarter, but they did win the game.
They did. They almost lost.
They almost lost to the Wizards?
Yes.
No way.
They only had 26 points in the fourth quarter, and the Wizards woke up and they're like, we have a chance. And they got 40. And
I am disgusted for you.
I was so sad. I didn't watch the game, but I thought, wow, that score, when I saw it, I'm like, whoa, what the hell? I was like, you know what? They did it again.
So
they did it again. And
they won by 6?
They
won by
had
7.
a huge lead, blew it, almost lost the game, took everything they had to pull out the win.
And like, the Keyshawn George, the rookie, was just going crazy. And I'm like, well, that can't happen.
Yeah,
you can't,
24 points,
6 threes, man. You just can't let that kind of thing happen. And I know that's a promising bunch of rookies over there, but I think the operative word there is rookies. You're supposed to handle those guys.
Change on the horizon here, or what?
Yes. There has to be. There has to be some sort of change. Now, we did make a small trade, a Kogi for some center whose name I already forgot.
For Nick Richards.
Okay, sure. That sounds like
it's
a
need, but who's gonna but like it's a big need because they've been out rebounded by, well, not the Wizards last night, but they've been out rebounded by just about every team they faced. And that's part of the problem, is that there's no middle of that defense. Anybody can get to the rim if they want to. Mm-hmm. And they played the Hawks. Hawks out rebounded them by 17 with the backup center.
Yikes. Well, I'm pretty sure Nick Richards is not even his real name. I'm pretty sure I've checked into a hotel under that name in the past.
Well, no, that's why. Why would that not be a real person?
Nick Richards sounds so made up.
Is it safe to say then the three-headed experience didn't work? The three-headed experiment did not work. It's time to make a change going forward.
You know what? I wonder if the three-headed experiment, and we've talked about this before, it wasn't so much that all three of them weren't good and talented. It was a lot like, oh, no, you go first. Oh, no, you. Oh, no, after you. Oh, no, you indubitably. Oh, just, no. And then they couldn't get anything done.
So they don't gel.
I guess not. Somebody's got to be a leader. Why do we not have a leader?
That's just, it's a personality thing.
So nobody wants to be the leader.
Some people lead by example, but sometimes you need a vocal leader, and that's just your personality. Either you are a vocal person, you get loud, you get mad at people who miss assignments, you do that, or you don't. Like, you can't teach somebody how to be a vocal leader. People can lead by example. It can be leaders in a variety of different ways. Like, people talk about Kevin Durant leading by example, but sometimes when a guy is not where he's supposed to be, you just need to go at him. Like, that's just like leading by example at that point isn't as helpful as just saying, if you don't get this together, you're not, like the thing that LeBron does. Like, LeBron's never been like an in-your-face guy, but everybody knows that, who is got the GM on speed dial, and LeBron will approach you. This is what I've heard. LeBron will approach you and say, hey, are we going to be able to do this or not? And if the answer is yes, you're good. And if the answer is no, your ass is headed somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And you can ask D'Angelo Russell all about it.
Mm-hmm. So, something has to change. And, probably going to be Beal. Probably. Unless they get some blockbuster trade for one of the...
they got money issues.
I don't see them getting rid of Booker ever.
And Booker's young enough. I still wouldn't do that. But Beal is the hardest one to move, obviously, because the no trade clause makes it so that he's not going to just go anywhere.
Well, he may want to go. He may want to go now.
You're going to have to. I mean, maybe, but it's like,
because he sees what's going on just like anybody else, and he has to understand. It's like, I don't think this is really the right atmosphere. So let's get somebody in here who does make sense, but send me someplace that makes sense.
But may want to go. Like, the teams that want Bradley Beal are probably going to be worse. So he's not going to want to go to a worse team just to be out of here. He's got a wife and kid. Like, he's not trying to move his family everywhere.
Durant's the one you got to move. Durant's the one that people want.
They want, yeah. I mean, he's the guy.
He's the guy.
Work. You can work and get so.
He's your guy that you're going to have to move.
Yeah, I hate to do that.
I just don't think they're going to do it.
They got to do. If they don't make the playoffs this year, they got to do something.
Well, yeah, if they don't make the playoffs, but as far as this season goes, I still think they're going to keep swinging this season.
Yeah, I agree.
Just the amount of investment that Matt Ishbia has put into it, even the trade for Nick that they got from the Hornets by saying you're going to get back the pick for this year, but you're giving up multiple future picks, tells me that you're still trying to go for this year. Like I still think that's crazy.
All right. So let's think about this. You need a vocal leader. And if it's not Booker, if it's not Durant, if it's not Beal, what we need to do is we need to get somebody in here who's that person. Chris Paul.
Jeez.
Okay, wait. Okay. Draymond Green.
I mean,
I don't know. Give me some people. Who do you think would fit that bill?
Well, the guy that they're trying to get is named Jimmy Butler. I don't know if he's going to be cheap, but the contracts have to match, so it can't be cheap if you're going to trade for him.
I don't think that's a fit either.
I'm not sure that that's a look.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's a fit per se, but in terms of guy who's going to be a shot in the arm and give you at least the locker room thing you need,
he might destroy that locker room.
Who can say? Because he's destroyed he's destroyed every locker room he's been in. But he has gone to finals first before he's destroyed them.
I mean, I've heard rumors of him to the Lakers too, and I'm like, nah, I don't want him.
But what do you got to give back?
You got a lot of young talent, but I wouldn't want to leave that
young talent. We need somebody who's yelling.
No. I'm saying I've heard Jimmy Butler to the Lakers is what I've heard. I don't.
I see.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. And as far as you need a LeBron, I mean, if LeBron would have to go over there for a year and help you guys win a title, I mean, he could do that. But I think he would. I think he would help you if he went to Phoenix. I think they win a title.
Sir Drives a Lot says move KD sooner the better. I don't know.
I
think that's your only move. I don't know what else you can do.
I don't know either. It's either that or you actually work out a multiple team deal, which I think is more likely to say to Beal, all right, we could get you somewhere you'll actually want to be, and then you won't have that no trade clause and escalating contract. Like, that's the thing with Beal, is like he costs a lot now. He costs more next year. He costs more the year after that.
It's not attractive.
Well, all we know is we're just a mediocre team at the moment with some big paychecks going out the door.
Like the one of the mock trades I saw with Beal was if you could convince him to go to Detroit, because Detroit's actually looking like a playoff team this year in the Eastern Conference, and they just had a guard go down. So there's an opening for Beal to go. He would be the guy scoring over there, and that would be a better fit for him. And you would be able to get back some talent if you were the Suns. That's about as good as that's going to get, I think.
Chief Skull says Suns should change the lineup and just put all 47-foot centers out there with Booker.
They do have an awful lot of centers now with this Richards trade. You've got Nurkic now on the roster who you don't like, so you don't really play him.
You might have meant 4 7-foot centers.
You've got
that's what he meant, not 47-foot centers.
Yeah, because now you're just talking.
Because that's like this big. That's little like 47 little guys running around. That doesn't make sense.
Does this prove my point that
no,
I think it does.
Probably not.
You can't just throw money at it to win a championship.
Oh no, that's true.
You just can't. I mean, you have to know how to do it. And you have to have role players willing to come in at less money to be part of it, right? That really believe in it, that want to play with the big guys. And that's not what the Phoenix Suns have.
Yeah, you don't see that right now. Like a player, they're like, yeah, I'm the missing piece. Let's go, guys.
And it's not just that you can't throw money at it, because like there was a world where you used to be able to do that. It's just that right when the salary cap was changing, the Suns decided to take one last ditch effort to make that work, while the salary cap was punishing the kind of thing they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Like the league didn't want big threes anymore. They want to spread the talent around the league. And so if you're going to have a big three, we're going to find some other way to hamstring you. So it's not like you need role players to come and take less. They need the kinds of role players who are willing to come and take veteran minimums, like not even less than usual. Just
but that was back in the day, remember?
Yeah.
When you had Shaq and Kobe, you had guys that would come in for nothing because they wanted a ring.
Right. Because they
were the guys
would buy in.
But also those guys, you weren't asking those guys to take vet minimums. You were asking them to take less, but
they
you
were
weren't
a lot
asking
less.
them. Yeah. like Tyus Jones is playing on like a nothing deal right now because he wanted a championship and he wanted to come help the Suns do it. But like for the most part, most players aren't going to take that.
No, I agree.
You know, as you look at this team, okay, so maybe it's the coaching. Maybe it's the coaching. Because here's the thing: if you don't have a vocal leader on the court in the locker room, shouldn't that vocal leader be your coach? Shouldn't the coach be the one who's yelling from the sideline the same kind of stuff? The guy who's talking to you in the timeout, the guy who's talking to you in the locker room, getting you going. So what the hell are we doing if we have a coach who's not that guy? We got a Durant's not that guy. Beal's not that guy. Booker's not that guy. We got to have somebody be that guy. And right now, with the contracts and the money and everything the way it is, hey, Budenholzer, maybe it's you.
Perhaps it's a little bit of that. I also think that he's got a system that he's just married to. I just think, look, man, I understand you want to shoot a lot of threes and shoot the ball more. Your star player is having his worst 3-point shooting year of his career. The year you are asking him to do something he doesn't normally do. Maybe adjust that. Yeah. You might want your center to go out and shoot a little bit more from range. He's not any good at it. So you can't ask him to do that. And I do think that there's like a little bit of asking guys to do things they just don't do. And that I don't know how you win there.
I think that's part of it. But to Jeffrey's point, I mean, if you had a Phil Jackson or you had a Pat Riley, he's not going to sit there and let this happen.
And not even, you don't even need that level of guy.
No, I'm just saying, though.
Lionel Hollins with the grit and grind Grizzlies. Like I was watching a podcast with those guys and they were just like, no, Lionel Hollins might not have been loud. He was the meanest guy that they ever met because he was just like, hey, Zebo, why don't you grab a rebound actually worth something? Stop padding your stats. Like he just went at everybody down the line. And everybody's like, okay, guess it's time to get to work here. You know, I mean, it's just like, hey, Tony Allen, you don't shoot, get to the basket. Like there's just some coaches, even the ones that are kind of quiet, that figure out how to get their voice heard.
I think I was going to say, I think I agree with you, but also I would say what you said earlier, Jeffrey, they don't have a leader and they should have made sure they bought one in when they put this big three together. Because a big three, that's just three great players that don't lead. Right. This is what you get.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
LeBron, wherever
How did you not see this coming?
I mean, you got to be smart enough to do it. If you're going to do it and throw the money at it, that's fine, but you got to do it the right way.
Donnie says Suns fans said it was Vogel's fault last year. I don't know what Suns fans you're talking to.
But, a lot of people texted in.
A lot of what we had with Vogel was being able to make adjustments. A lot of that argument had to do with just, you know, where things were and who we had at the time. But let me just say, Vogel wasn't that guy either, was he?
He won in LA, but he wasn't the leader.
Right.
Yeah.
You had player leaders.
Right. Yeah. And I do think that also with Vogel's defense, like the Suns were better at defense last year with Vogel than they are this year. His offense was bad. It was just bad. And so like now they've kind of flip-flopped. They're a little worse defensively, but they're better offensively, but the result is the same because
we might be cursed.
You've given up one enough and cost yourself enough with the other one that you're kind of right where you were.
So here's the thing. I have faith in Jones to the GM to see what we're seeing long before we see it. So why aren't they doing something about it? Why are these? Is it because Ishbia has tilted himself in and says, okay, here's what we're going to do? Well, and Jones is just
with the big three, Ishbia was like, make it happen. So he did. Like to say, you know, you need a leader and all that stuff. Look, Boss Man shows up and says, get me 3 guys that are superstars. You go get the stars. Like that's your job now. But as far as getting extra talent and extra players, because he did what he was told, now you don't have the ability with the cap to make the trades you wanted to make, to get the free agents you want to make.
He was instructed to paint them into a corner he will now be held responsible for.
Hopefully not, but like, and even then, the guy is still proving he's such a great executive because what he did in the draft by getting Iguodaro and Ryan Dunn, like those guys are actually contributors on this team that they need. Ryan Dunn has been awesome,
but we're also worse than we were. We're worse now than we were before.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's Jones's fault.
What I'm saying is that even despite being told to do some absolutely insane things, he still found a way. Like, I don't know that another executive could get this team to be a 500 team.
Devil Hawk says, I was told by Timberwolves fans and Vikings fans that they were winning a championship this season. What happened, Donnie? It's true.
Wow, that's true.
We did hear that from at least one person we know.
Kind of cold.
And Donnie,
sorry, Chief School.
Yeah, and Donnie and his Timberwolves are one game ahead of the Suns. So I wouldn't shout that loud.
We can't keep beating up the Vikings. That's just not right.
I'm beating up the Timberwolves now. See,
I gotta tell you,
beating up the Vikings.
I sat at that game and I listened to some guys behind me that have been Vikings fans for 50 plus years, and it was a very sad thing to listen to.
I am
Very
not
sad.
hacking
I really was
on the Vikings. We're generally only hacking on Donnie.
No, I know, but
I
have a place in my heart for them because I just felt for those guys, man. They're just like they've gone through some stuff in 50 years.
Ringless Joe says, "Hey, Donnie, you got your tickets for Vikings versus Eagles?"
Nice.
Oh,
See, here we go.
Oh, Taco Kenny says, this is an every year thing with the Suns. Shoulda, coulda.
This is different.
Wouldn't, haven't, can't.
This is different.
Yeah, and this is different because you have an owner that came in and said, "I want to push all the chips to the middle of the table," and everybody was skeptical a little. And now the pushing all the chips to the middle of the table, the strategy is great when you win, but when you lose all the chips. That's the issue.
Well, all right. I mean, I told you I was going to miss Mikal Bridges and other people, but that's fine. Let's take a break. When we come back, we have other basketball to talk about, the college variety. And, we'll finish up this conversation about the Suns, too. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. This update brought to you by Sport Trade. Download the Sport Trade app and use code VSIN to earn 10% cash back on every bet in your first week. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
NBA, the Phoenix Suns back in action tonight. They're in Washington to take on the Wizards. The Suns are coming off a loss in Atlanta to the Hawks on Tuesday night and snap their 3-game win streak. They are 19-20 on the season, facing a Washington team with just 6 wins on the year. The Suns are an 11.5-point road favorite tonight, minus 750 on the money line. Washington at plus 475, and the over-under total is at 231.5. And in college basketball, Saturday, Arizona State will be on the road to face Cincinnati. The Arizona Wildcats also on the road to face Texas Tech. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, sports fans, this is Dylan Cohen.
And I'm Keon Rose, and we're bringing you Beat the Book every weekday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon.
So if you want the latest betting picks, advice, and analysis that's sharp as a knife,
or at least sharper than Dylan's last pick on the Cardinals.
Oh, you've got jokes, huh? Well, maybe you're feeling bold now that your Commanders actually look decent this season.
Hey, even a broken clock's right twice a day, right?
Well, tune in to Beat the Book with us, Dylan Cohen and Keon Rose, every weekday from 2 to 3 on 1580 The Fanatic.
Brought to you by Sport Trade, the newest sports book in Arizona.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-898-8833. 800-898-8833. Again, that's 800-898-8833.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? Hims can help. Get started at hims.com/joy. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harmon Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmonsolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call,
800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmonsolar.com.
The Rich Eisen Show.
The reason why the Ravens look the way they look is because they may have the two best offensive players in the NFL. And they certainly have the best quarterback running back combination in the NFL. Lamar Jackson's out of his skull. And you look at the AP voters who voted for the All-Pro list. They are the same voters who will vote for the MVP. And they made Lamar Jackson first-team All-Pro quarterback, which means it looks like he's going to be the MVP.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on 1580. The Fanatic.
Why do you make that face? What's that all about? You.
I got personal stuff happening, man.
Oh, I thought you looked at the computer like you looked at that song and you're like, I hate this song.
I'm actually okay with this song. No, I got some personal stuff working itself out.
Sorry,
Yeah,
not my damn business.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was just like you hated the song.
No, song's fine.
Ralph Ralph hates your personal business. He
What?
just wants you to know that. 888
I hate it too, to be
1580. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580. The Fanatic, magnificent Mr. Mormon says, can Rich Eisen blow me up like Jim Rome did? Yeah, sure. Devilhawk says, didn't the Suns just play Washington yesterday, or am I living in the twilight zone with the action update? Oh, okay. So the action update's not update. You're probably, tonight they play the Detroit Pistons of Detroitia. And
I believe that's actually tomorrow.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, which of course is.
So here I am. I'm ahead of time. Action update is behind the time. At some point at 3 a.m., we'll get it just right. There was a huge issue from the network earlier today. People tuned in for the Rich Eisen show, and I don't know what the hell they heard. It wasn't Rich Eisen, I'll tell you that much. They had some sort of giant technical problem at Westwood One, and everything got goofy. And now all our clocks are off and everything. When I say clocks, I mean literally our automation clocks. So, and I called them up, and they're like, "No, it's not us." I'm like, "Yeah, it's totally you."
But here's the thing, though.
Boy. Anyway, so it's that kind of day for a Friday. So, but to answer your question, Devil Hawk, it's you. Beer Bob says Suns can't throw money. They just can't throw money around and win a championship. It's not like baseball. They're not the Dodgers.
What?
What? King Ken says, hang in there, Keon. The listeners love you.
Didn't the Dodgers win a World
I
Series?
appreciate that.
Ringless Joe. Well, yeah, because you threw money at the problem. Ringless Joe says, Suns were bottom of the conference for a long time. Then they had a few years of being good. No rings came from it. Now it's back to the bottom for a few more years. That does seem to be the MO of the Phoenix Suns. It's always been this way. So, all right. Hey, speaking of your pay for play Dodgers,
Pay for play. Wow.
Here's the thing: more teams need to be putting more money in it. According to Scott Boras, the super agent, he's actually shaming Major League Baseball teams for not getting busy and spending money in free agency. Now I know why he's saying it. He's got a commission coming, but outside of that, he's not absolutely wrong. We've seen a lot of teams just sort of go nice and slow when it comes to picking up players and spending money. Our own guy here for the Arizona Diamondbacks, a whole lot of years did that. Spent a little more money this year. I'm just actually surprised. Not impressed because of what he spent the money on and who he spent the money on. It's like, okay. I mean, I give him what do you give him for a grade on that? Like a B, like a C?
C+.
Like he spent some money, but was that where
C+.
Yeah. You see, you're going to say that, which means
it's a C+. That's what it was.
So, a lot of teams spend tons of money and they win, and a lot of teams don't. And every now and then a miracle team, oh my God, they hardly spend any money. And look at them. They're in the World Series. Who are they called? Diamondbacks. That's what they're called. And, we didn't spend that much money.
Or Tampa Bay.
That's a good one. I mean, But Scott Boras is saying there's so many teams that aren't actually spending. They're making more money, but they're not spending. Well, Scott, that's how you make more money. Spend as little as you can to, make as much money as you can.
Yeah. Now, granted, are they going to ever reinvest that money back into the baseball team is the real question. And I understand why Scott's particularly distressed about this because he's an agent.
Yeah.
He gets
commission.
So this is for when teams aren't spending money. He's a little thinner. But I do think that there are some teams, they don't spend money because they know they don't have an infinite supply of it. So they save. And then when they've got a team of maybe young talent and they feel like, okay, if we just have a few more stars, we can go over the top. Then you push all of the cash out there to see what you can get. Whereas there are some teams, they're just okay to just collect the money and they don't want to spend. They just want the money.
It's an investment.
But it's also the team holding out on you. You're going there and you're spending your money for the season tickets, for the gear, for the this, for that. You're spending money on the team, but it doesn't feel like they're spending money back. They're not putting the kind of team on the field that it really justifies the high prices of what you're paying to be a fan. So I don't know what the balance is. Scott Boras says more. Teams will say less, but somewhere in the middle is the truth. So what do you guys think? Are teams spending an appropriate amount, or are teams still on the cheap? Minus the Yankees and Dodgers, who always overspend whether they make the playoffs or not. So, but in general, are the teams being cheap?
I think it does depend on some level of, who you're talking about, right? Like the A's, notoriously cheap. They don't spend ever. They're like,
no, they'll spend now. They're about to spend.
They have
you watch.
They better, because everything that it's going to cost them to move, if there isn't anything to watch on the other side of that, you're going to lose everybody, and you just left the only people who gave a damn about you. Yeah, you better spend now. But right now, they're the fifth lowest payroll in baseball. And they've been that way for a while. The Marlins have been really bad about this. The White Sox have been really bad about this. Like, those are teams to me that they're not spending at all. And then you've got some other teams where I think, like, the Nationals are in that range. The Tigers are in that range. Maybe the Brewers a little bit, where they spend selectively. When they think they've got a team that they can win with, then they start throwing the money out there. But other than that, they try to build up the farm system and bring the talent up. And I think that that's fine. I think that if you're going to say we'll do it every few years just to make sure that we can afford to actually consistently do this, fine. But when you've got some of these teams that are just sitting on cash and they're not willing to spend it, just because, I think it's greed. It's just, hey, we like making the money. We don't like ever spending it. And we don't care that our fans are the ones who suffer because of it. There are teams like that out there.
Robert from Surprise says Chicago Cubs are the worst at spending money. They're the third largest fan base, and they don't spend money.
Well, they're number 7 in salary, so I disagree with that. They absolutely spend money.
Yeah, the 13th in cash payroll, which is all right.
They're 7th in total payroll. I mean, they spend money. I mean, you can see the top 10 teams, top 11 teams, they're spending money. I mean, so
and the Diamondbacks are 10th, so like they're in that more selective range of they're trying to do it maybe a little bit more discount, but they know what they can afford and they're just trying to go for that.
I mean, what I can't stand are these, so the A's, they didn't spend money for obvious reasons. They were trying to move, right? So they did that. There was a purpose behind that.
A little. No, because like when I was a kid, they weren't spending money.
Well,
there's a movie about how little money they spent.
I know money. There's Moneyball.
Yeah.
They were trying something different, and it worked.
The GM was trying something different because the owners didn't spend. Like if you read the book, like the stories about how cheap these people are specifically, it's insane.
If you got to look at the teams though. A small market team's going to have a different budget than somebody in LA or New York, right? They're just going to have a different budget. I mean, the attendance you get out of LA is over 3 million fans every year. You're not going to get that in other markets, so they're not going to make as much money. So that's just the way it is.
Yeah, but the issue is, at what point do you reinvest? At what point do you say, you know what, we've got to expand our ownership group? Because if we don't have the money to spend because our fan base is smaller, then how else can we make revenue? Because there are teams that figure it out, teams that are cheap that figure it out.
I think most teams owners are okay with not winning a World Series. They'll never say this out loud because as long as they have their budget that's being met and they're making the money they need to make, remember, this is a business.
Ticket sales, concessions, TV deals.
Sure. This is a
TV
business.
deals.
It's not.
To me, it's the World Series aspect. It is hard to win a World Series, especially when you don't have one of the top payrolls in the league, and I understand that. But can you put some product out on the field that's worth watching? Because the A's haven't in forever, and neither have the White Sox, who are the second worst spending team in baseball.
Big George disagrees. He says Corbin Burns is an A+ starting pitcher. It's not C+.
No, he's not an A+ starting. That's ridiculous.
Taco Kenny says, where the hell are the A's playing this year? Oh, yeah, like San Bernardino, San something. Wasn't that what I heard?
Like Sacramento-ish? I don't know.
It starts with an S.
San Mateo. I don't know.
Don't care about them, so I couldn't tell you. Robert from Surprise says, I think there's also a big difference when a team has an owner or an investment group backing them. Yeah, one guy, he's not likely to open up the wallet quite as wide, but in an investment group, well, they're there for a purpose and they see if we put some money into it, hey, we'll get more money out of it. Isn't that a nice idea? So
the A's are playing in Sacramento, by the way.
Sacramento fighting Wampa. Thank you. Bat Flipper says baseball's broken, period. One team spends 700, other team only spends 50. The league might not be hurting now, but in the long run, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, but I hear that argument all the time. But that team that spends 50, they can spend 700 if they want to. It's not. No one's telling them they can't.
Right.
Right.
No restrictions.
Right. You can do what you. I hate when fans sit there and whine about the. It's like, shut up. Tell your team to spend more money. Otherwise, just shut up because there's no reason for you to whine about it.
The reason why,
by the way, on sports talk radio, that's a great argument. Just shut up.
Because it gets annoying to hear people say that. I mean, it's just like Sasaki, right? He's not going to get a ton of money, but he just told the Padres today, no thanks. He's looking for the best option to make him great. And he's starting to realize it's the Dodgers. So he'll probably sign with the Dodgers, but not because he's getting a lot of money, because he's not. He's only going to get probably $6 to $8 million. That's it. It's because that's where he feels he can become the greatest pitcher ever. That's what the guy wants to do. He reminds me of Kobe Bryant. He has that attitude, right? So he's choosing who he wants to choose based on that, not based on money. So, yeah, I'd want to be a Dodger too if I was a pitcher, no doubt.
Prison Wallet wants you to know that he's in love with you.
Who, Keon?
No, you. He says, I love Ralph a lot.
Yeah, that'd be my life in prison, I'm sure.
I mean, you'd be protected, but they're I am pretty sure they'd be spooning. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we've got listen, we're going to have Keon Rose's college basketball dance party at some point. I know that we're going to do our picks in the next hour. That's not going to take all hour. So at some point after that, we'll have some
men's
basketball talk.
Is it men's or women's?
It's men's.
Women's college basketball.
It's everyone's, Ralph.
Women's is great.
It's awesome.
It's fantastic. It's been great for like the last 5 years.
I love women's college basketball.
But we're talking Adam Apple on this one. We're not.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about women's college basketball?
I think that, there's some great.
I didn't ask you. It's asking the guy who has to do the talking about it.
Sorry.
Well, if I would have prepared for it, then
I don't mean today. I mean in general. Do you want to talk about women's college basketball?
Yeah, I'd like to.
I mean, Ralph and I can leave early.
No,
I'm just saying we can do it.
I want to hear it.
Yeah, we in the car.
Ralph's an SC guy. Ralph knows all about Juju Watkins.
Oh heck yeah, she's phenomenal. I love that.
In all seriousness, if you want to, I don't see why not. All right, so let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll get that sorted out. But then a little bit later, we have our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks and other things. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill, but you decide when you'll pay it before the due date so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should because, again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Water is Arizona's most valuable resource. And for over a century, Phoenix has led the way in providing reliable water services. Wherever you call home in Arizona, we all share the responsibility to conserve for tomorrow. Watch your water use, especially outdoors. Consider desert-friendly landscaping and water-saving appliances. Together, small changes can make a big difference. Learn more at phoenix.gov/water and help secure Arizona's water future. This message is sponsored by the City of Phoenix Water Services Department.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-898-8833. 800-898-8833. Again, that's 800-898-8833.
Former CIA officer Jason Hansen here. As someone who's dedicated my life to protecting people, I know the importance of guarding what matters most. Right now, with global instability and the dollar's declining value, that means securing your financial assets with gold. For me, I trust Advantage Gold with my own investments. Give them a call at 800-900-8000 for a 100% free gold guide. Again, call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Think you can handle a few drinks and still drive safely? Think again. Buzzed driving is drunk driving, and drunk driving can land you in serious trouble. In Arizona, there's zero tolerance for impaired driving. Even one drink can cost you thousands in fines and legal fees. Plus, take away your driver's license. So plan ahead. Use a designated driver or rideshare. Get the facts at drivesober.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
1580 The Fanatic.
And at 1580thefanatic.com.
Your home for sports.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. You know what I haven't had in a while? Hot dog.
Really?
I haven't had a hot dog in a long, long time. Yeah, I don't care about, the parts that are in the hot dog, but, processed meat is really bad for you. So I haven't had any hot dogs in maybe a couple of years. And I'm like, oh, well, if I don't have them all the time like I used, well, I should be able to have some now.
Yeah, I have one like maybe once or twice a month whenever I go to Costco.
Yeah, $1.50 hot dog is hard to pass up.
It's hard to pass up. Yeah.
Well, I think I'd like a hot dog. I don't know. No point. Anyway, Big George says, I hope Sasaki is a huge bust when he plays for the Dodgers. Can't stand the Dodgers. Spending all his money, buying championships. Well, hold on, George. I don't hope that Ohtani was a huge bust. Here's the thing. I don't hate the Dodgers enough to wish the players ill. In fact, I hate the Yankees pretty bad, but those Yankees, once they're off the Yankees, I'm okay with them. I don't wish them any injuries or anything like that. I hate the Yankees. Not real fond of their fans. But to sit there and hope that Sasaki is a huge bust, well, I don't know, man. That's not cool.
You have to look at it this way too, Big George. How smart are the Dodgers? I don't care that you hate them, but they basically have turned Japan blue. Right? I mean,
was that something we were needing to do?
No, it is for the Dodgers because the money they're putting out for these players that are coming over and the money they're making back from that investment.
The Dodgers are fueling betting in Japan.
No, they're bringing in a ton of money for these, not only these guys, but for them as an organization to pay off these salaries. That's just smart.
So they can pay off their translators,
whatever
debts.
they have to do. But I mean, how smart is that organization? You got to give them credit, whether you like them or not. I mean, it's just smart business.
Bat Flipper says you can choose someone, but if they don't choose you, you can't Kobe them, Ralph.
If you could choose somebody, but if you don't choose you.
I just read the text. I don't know.
All right.
Big George says, did I say I wanted Sasaki to be injured? You said you want him to be a huge bust. And listen,
why would you want some? That's as bad as an injury for an athlete to be a huge bust, which means that their potential for making any money is gone. So I don't know, man. I don't wish that sort of bustness on anyone, even if they do play for teams I don't like. I don't know. I just made the word up. I can do that.
That's a good word.
Bustness. Big George also says, I just want him to be a huge bust so the Dodgers stink. I hate the Dodgers. We just hope that the Dodgers stink collectively. You don't have to single the guy out.
He could be a huge bust and the Dodgers won't stink. That's the thing.
They might.
No.
Taco Kenny says, Dodgers are an equal opportunity team. Yeah. They don't care who hates them. Everyone can. What were we going to do in this segment? I can't remember. We're going to talk some college ball a little bit. ASU is playing the Cincinnati Bearcats tomorrow. I feel like this is going to be a tough one, Keon. I feel like this might be a tough one.
Well, I mean, when you're look, it's just we're just looking at the nature of Big 12 basketball right now. It's a tough conference to play in, and ASU is going through the gauntlet. And I mean, it's been tough. UCF has been, obviously that game happened earlier this week, and that one was a tough one. Cincinnati has a really good team too. Like, then you look across the Big 12, it's just teams that are perennial.
Oh, wait a minute. They've only won one game out of the last 5, just like us. They just beat Colorado, but they got beat by KU, by Baylor, by UA, and KSU. So are they better than us?
I mean,
who isn't?
Yes. I mean, because like the teams they lost to, those are really good teams. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, we lost to a lot of the same. We beat the same team as them, Colorado. But we lost the exact same guys that they lost to.
Yeah, it's just someone's got to be, the quote unquote worst conference team. Like, you're just trying to stay above water here because
that hurt my spleen. I felt that there.
I understand that, but this conference is brutal, and I like most of the conference is probably going to make the tournament. So, like, the goal is to just try and eke out as many of these wins as you can. It's not like Cincinnati's Cincinnati's an unbeatable team. ASU can beat them. It's not going to be. I don't think this is going to be like a blowout or anything like that. I don't think Cincinnati's that good. But Cincinnati is a bit better, and I do think that when you're looking, across just the landscape of the Big 12, like, you're trying to be competitive when you get to the conference tournament, and that's going to be a matter of trying to get a high enough seed to where you can go far in that thing and make a case that you deserve to be there. But like, if you look at it every year, there's a bunch of Big 12 teams that make it because this conference just devours itself.
Well, last night, GCU got a win, and on Saturday, they're playing Fran Tarkenton State. Both teams have lost their last game, but they're kind of similar in standing, but I feel like GCU, this is a game that they totally should be winning.
I mean, yes. And if last night was any indication, like they can do it. They can figure out what they need to do, play together. I do think that Coach Drew did make some adjustments. He said, tie on Grant Foster. I want to see more from you. Brought him off the bench. Went with a new starting lineup. Played some of these younger guys who were showing some signs earlier of being really good. Well, he trusted them, and they went out and delivered. So, like, I think that Bryce Drew's willing to shake some stuff up if he's not seeing something that's good out there. I think GCU's got a much better shot. Tarleton State, though, that's a tough basketball team. And anytime you're playing one of these schools from Texas, you just got to understand they're physical. They play that way, and you have to be able to match their intensity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Grand Canyon University Lopes playing at home on Saturday at 6 p.m. Broadcast starts here at 5:45 p.m. Big George, oh boy. He's calling for Bobby Hurley. Bobby Hurley showing his true colors once again. Looks good in the non-conference and then struggles in conference play. Doesn't matter if it's the Pac-12 or the Big 12. Bobby Hurley's a bad coach and he needs to go.
I think it does matter that it's the Big 12.
Everybody.
You need to watch this conference, the rest of this conference. Kansas State, Colorado, Central Florida. Like, all of these teams are really good. You are going to struggle in conference. Most of the Big 12 does. Look at the record.
So let's take a look at the record. Let's take a look at the AP Top 25. Guess who I don't see? I don't see any U Arizona on there. Nope. They just didn't make it. Oh,
really?
Just feel so bad.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not on there.
25?
Not on the top 25.
Yeah, they've won
A lot of
7 in a row.
people's 26 right now, and that's fine. Oh,
I mean, some people's 26, but the highest receiving voted teams, beyond that are St. John's, Oklahoma, West Virginia, and then those Wildcats.
Well, Auburn is in the top spot right now, followed by Iowa State, Duke, Alabama, Florida State. Tennessee has plummeted. So who'd they lose to that caused them to plummet?
I believe that was a loss to Florida that knocked them down there. Just an insane game where they just got dusted basically from the word go.
Nice. And then Michigan State, Radio Ron's Michigan State has jumped up pretty nicely to the 12th spot. And, there's Illinois, though, has also plummeted along UConn as well. So this is just one of those early season sort of adjustments where, okay, now they're going to drop, they're going to jump, they're going to drop. This is not a big deal, right?
Not really. I mean, if you're in the top 25, in a 68 team NCAA tournament, you're going to make it. And that's really what counts. And then obviously,
not you, Arizona.
Well, they'll probably make it too. But you're a little more nervous when you're in that spot because, they're used to being a team that's competing for, we're the number 1 overall seed or we're a 2 seed. They're not going to be that if they keep playing the way that they are.
Yeah, listen, ASU ain't nothing right now, but I'm just glad Arizona is in pain. That's all. That's all I care about. Later on, we'll have Keon Rose's college basketball dance party, which, by the way, I'm not sure how the hell we're doing that. So you better tell me what you want. We didn't really talk about that. Hey, congratulations, though, to Dawn Staley. She's now South Carolina's coach again, and she's making a crap ton of money. That's right. She's got an extension from 29 to 30 for that season, all the way through. It's $25 million. $25 million, not bad. She gets an annual salary of $4 million with $500,000 signing bonus, and then a $250,000 escalator. Brings the whole thing up to actually $25.25 million. And so I guess they've locked her in for a bit. So what do you think, Keon? What does this do for South Carolina?
Keeps them a dynasty. They're a powerhouse in college and women's college basketball, and she can recruit out there with anybody. They're at the point where they compete with UConn regularly for who's going to get the best players. Sending multiple players to the WNBA, having those players be Olympians. That's the level that she's reached, and yeah, I think that well deserved for her.
And also well-deserved, man, 4 times somebody has cancer and they beat it. You got to give them a tip of the hat, whether you like them or not. I like Dick Vitale, and he's officially ready to come back. He's going to call his first game after he beat that cancer for the 4th time. He's going to be on the Duke Wake Forest men's college basketball game on not this Saturday, but next Saturday on the 25th. So that's pretty cool right there.
Good for him. That's cool.
Yeah, he had lymphoma in 21, and then he had a bunch of surgeries to take out a melanoma. And then he's like, I beat cancer. Then 2023, you're like, I got vocal cord cancer. And then he had radiation, and they're like, he's fine now. And then he got cancer a 3rd time. I can't remember. I think it's the same stuff. And then he just beat it again for a 4th time. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. You got to give him a man card accreditation for toughness. You could get worn down by that so easily, but he keeps coming back, and he's what is he, like 80 something now?
He's up there.
So
it's the kind of guy you read stories about that he beats it all the time. He's a warrior, and then he gets hit by a car.
Well,
he's not Harry Carey. I don't think he's going to cross the street like that.
Also, Dick Vitale, 85.
See?
He beats death all the time. It's awesome. He's a great announcer.
Maybe the Grim Reaper's like, it's a long walk, and I don't want to have to listen to him. So yeah, he's fine.
All right, get out of here.
When he gets into his hundreds, it'll be too obvious. I'll have to. But for now, no. We're just going to wait. We're going to just avoid that. All right, guys, we come back. We are going to do our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks. We'll talk some more college hoops, and then we're going to just talk nothing but football. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-880-6363. That's 1-800-880-6363. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-880-6363. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
You've lost so much weight. How'd you do it? I got medical treatment for weight loss through Zelty and lost 50 pounds. I struggled for the longest time, but Zelty makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelty providers can prescribe FDA-approved weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight, like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others. I've heard those medications can help you lose weight, but aren't they expensive? Zelty can help get the medication covered by insurance, so it's as little as $0 a month. What if you don't have insurance? No problem. Zelty may be able to help you get other GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% off the price of name brand medications. I'm ready to start losing weight. How do I get started with Zelty? Just text.
Text SKINNY to 200-300 to get started today with Zelty and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy and Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text SKINNY to 200-300. That's SKINNY to 200-300. SKINNY to 200-300.
They're gonna go nuts when he hits this thing.
It went in.
The People's Open is back. See the PGA Tour's best tee it up at the 2025 WM Phoenix Open February 3rd through the 9th at TPC Scottsdale. Get tournament and ticket info at WMPhoenixOpen.com. WMPhoenixOpen.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time
for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He'll be back Monday, but we got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line. Oh, yeah, Ralph's here too. Don't make that face just because I got to. All right? I got to. Are you going to put a sad little... Jesus. And what else was there? Oh, yeah, we're live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Fighting Wampa says, I just got back in my car, and the first thing I hear out of Ralph is Dick Vitale beats it all the time. Man, it must be Friday.
Jeez.
Maybe that's his secret. Could be. What if it was? What if it was? I mean, well, if that were the case, no man would ever get cancer. So, we can forget that. Hold on. I'm trying to find, at all that time, I could have done it. But, hold on. Here it is. Got it. I had to get in my papers because we're going to do our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks. There's only 4 of them. It's divisional playoff. And I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say. There's only one game that I'm iffy on. I feel like this segment is going to go pretty fast. I feel like
you were bad last week.
Yeah, I was. I had 3 out of 3. I was going to change one of them, and then I just never got around to it.
We reset at the end of the season. Right now, playoffs is a separate thing.
No.
Oh yeah,
it's all together.
I'm in front now. I'm 5-1. So
no, it's all together.
That's not how it works.
That's how I look at it.
Okay, that's
whatever makes you
whatever's
happy.
happening in your imagination is fine.
There's a lot you don't want to know.
I know. I'm aware.
I'm aware.
So 4 games, a lot of cold weather, and a lot on the line. This is it. We got 8 teams, 4 games, and it's getting close to the big time here. So let's start it out with the first game on 1580 The Fanatic on Saturday afternoon. Broadcast starts here at 2 p.m. The game is at 2:30. The Houston Texans. How the hell did they get here? Taking on the hibernating Kansas City Chiefs. So you got rust on top of rust. They haven't played since, was it Christmas?
Christmas, yeah.
Holy crap. So Kansas City Chiefs, but see, they're still, you could say well rested, you could say well rusted. We'll see. The Houston Texans, that defense is great, and it's a surprise kind of team, but you also got a rookie involved. So, all right, Keon, why don't you lay it down for us on Chiefs hosting the Houston Texans?
Yeah. Wait, which rookie for Houston?
I always think of that guy as a rookie.
Oh, CJ,
yeah.
I mean,
Stroud.
he had a great rookie season. He had a not.
This is his second year.
Yeah. Not so great year 2 for CJ Stroud, but he did show up in that last
damn
game.
Divisional playoff.
Yeah, and they were there last year too. So ran into, I believe, the same Chiefs. So and have they gotten better? They have gotten a little bit better. But this defense is a great defense against the run, and they are a great defense when quarterbacks are operating from the pocket. They are not great when handling quarterbacks who run from the pocket. At that point, their defense, like you look at some of these numbers, they are down where the Raiders and the Panthers are. So it's a defense that seems to struggle with scrambling quarterbacks, which is why I thought that the Chargers were going to scramble a whole lot more with Herbert. Didn't do do any design runs. Like, Greg Roman is your offensive coordinator. What the hell are you guys doing? But either way, Patrick Mahomes is going to run. That he's not going to take it easy on them. And, they might be rusty. That is a factor in the game. I will also point out that Patrick Mahomes is about as well rested as you could ask a quarterback to be. If things aren't clicking offensively, I think Patrick Mahomes puts on the Superman cape and takes the game over with his legs. He doesn't need to rush for a ton, but those back-breaking 3rd and shorts, where you think you've got him and then he gets away and continues to keep drives going. I think that the Chiefs are able to do that offensively. And then, of course, we already know about the Chiefs defense. And CJ Stroud was able to take advantage of some things that the Chargers weren't able to do. They weren't able to stop him from throwing to the sideline. I imagine that Steve Spagnuolo and the Chiefs will be prepared for that too.
So Keon's got the Chiefs. Any hope you can give the Texans there, Ralph?
None. I think
great. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah. I mean, there's none. I just think the Chiefs will start slow because of the rust, and then they'll get it together, and you're going to see the Chiefs of the playoffs, and they will step it up a little bit, and Mahomes will be a little bit better, and everybody will be just a little bit better. And I think this will be a blowout. I really do. I just don't think it'll be close. I mean, last week, the Chargers threw 4 picks. I mean, that's why they're here this week. That's the reason they're here. So that was just a bad game by Herbert. And
well, it wasn't. The defense caused a bad game by Herbert. Now,
there were some bad throws.
You got to give him some credit.
There were some bad throws, but some of those bad throws were, hey, there's pressure. Would have helped if Herbert
I understand that.
If Herbert had a receiver not named Lad McConkey to throw to, like any other human being could catch the ball, that it helped him out probably. But yeah,
the Chargers were lucky to get where they got. So I mean, that was a good season for them, I think, regardless. But I don't see the Texans getting anywhere near close to beating this and winning this game. I just don't. I don't think they're that. I think they're good, but they're not Kansas City Chief good. Plus, it's going to be cold as heck up in Kansas City, I'm sure. I don't know if it's going to snow, but I'm sure it's going to be very nice and frigid, which just plays into them. So Chiefs, easy.
So the fact that I'm sitting here still thinking Stroud is a rookie shows you his play hasn't been that great. Yeah, and for the reasons that Keon laid out, this defense is not the right defense to take on this team. Hefty Lefty says a little bit of the sophomore slump for Stroud, still did what they needed to do and win a bad division, though. So he's hoping they beat the Chiefs. They will not beat the Chiefs, Hefty Lefty. They unanimously, we're all taking the Chiefs to win this one.
I don't think it was a sophomore slump. I think it was the schedule. He played a lot tougher schedule this year than he did last year, and I think it showed.
And also they had their receiver injuries. That was an issue. Their offensive line still needs help, man. Like that is just an issue that they have to fix because CJ Stroud's a pocket guy. You know, he can run a little bit, but he'd rather stand back and really throw things and diagnose from the pocket and throw things from back there. So like if they're not able to fix that offensive line, I don't know that we get the best version of CJ Stroud even in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Hold on a second. Sir drives a lot and Silly Wabbit. I really apologize. In the last hour, they were texting in and I totally missed their texts because I was scrolling up and this thing didn't tell me that it was sitting there. So my apologies to Silly Wabbit. And other people, I haven't read your text. You can go to hell. I just didn't read yours because I don't want to. But I do feel bad about Silly Wabbit and Sir drives a lot. Let's see here. All right, let's go on now to the next game. This is happening in Detroit City. What's the weather going to be like there? I know the weather is cold across all of the United States on Sunday. The Chiefs game will be a cold one. The Detroit one that's indoors.
It doesn't matter. It's indoors.
Yeah, that's indoors. Thank God for Goff. But then the Eagles game, that'll be cold.
Yeah,
and the Buffalo game will be the coldest. We'll get to that here in a minute. But back to cozy, warm Detroit inside Ford Field. Washington Commandos are coming to town, and they are in. This has got to be your first divisional playoff in what was it? 25 years? Is that what you said? 25?
18, but who's keeping count?
You might as well be 100 years for you, right?
I mean, I was in high school the last time it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a grown up now. So, all right. Now, Dan Campbell warns you something, and this is something I got to ask. How are the Commandos and Jaden Daniels? Now, Jaden Daniels is a rookie. How is he with a silent count? Because Dan Campbell says Detroit will be the loudest place the Commanders have ever played.
He's actually great with silent count. They've done it multiple times this season. They've gone no huddle a lot. That's actually a thing that Cliff is really good for. He likes no huddle. Like, let's just go. We're not even gonna.
Okay.
It's like it's just one of those things where that is kind of a strength of his. I don't know if that helps.
Ralph, how's your wife with the silent treatment? Does she do that?
Yeah, we have our moments.
Yeah. The silent treat. I don't get the silent treatment.
Never. I mean, I've had it for where it lasted 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I would love that.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why you don't get it.
You don't piss off.
No, your wife knows you. You'd like it, which is exactly why you don't get it.
Yeah. Sitting there in the garage. All right, so let's we'll get back to you with your pick in a moment there, Keon. Ralph, the Washington Commandos, Detroit Lions. Now, I feel like this could be a pretty good game. It should be a pretty good game, but do you see these Detroit Lions losing at this point?
I think it's going to be a pretty good game for about, I don't know, a quarter and a half. I like the Commanders. I think they've massively, what an achievement this year. They've done a great job to even get to this point. I love Jaden Daniels. I love what they're doing there. They've proven that maybe Cliff Kingsbury wasn't as bad as we thought he was.
He's exactly what we knew he was. He just wasn't a good coach.
Yeah, I agree. He was a great coordinator. And they look very good. They looked good last week. But the Lions are just, I think there's just something special about this team. This team is just, that term, they're not like us. There's a lot of people just not like them. These guys are different. I don't know that anyone
from the top down, man.
Yeah, I just don't know that anyone can touch these guys in the playoffs. I don't see them losing this game. I don't see them losing probably another game. I just think they're on a mission. They're completely loaded. I know they've had injury issues. Do we know, is Montgomery coming back this week?
Yes.
Have we heard anything? He is coming.
Yeah, he's coming back.
So I don't think he'll be a huge impact this week, but he will be in the later round. But still, him coming back, I think some of their defensive guys have come back. How do you bet against the Lions? I can't. I've got to take the Lions. They're special.
Yeah, again, you got a rookie quarterback. He's great. Love Jaden Daniels. but he's still a rookie, and he's still going to be seeing things that he's not seen before. In professional football. It's not a dig; it's just a fact. Do I think he's going to do a good job? I think at the end of this game, we're going, hey, yeah, he held himself pretty good, poise beyond poise. But it's not going to change the fact that the rabid dog that is the Detroit Lions is, and there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do when that happens, and that's just sort of where this team is right now. So. I got Detroit Lions. It should be an entertaining game. I'm not saying it's going to be any kind of a blowout, but I would say absolutely the Detroit Lions will win. Now, kind of curious, Keon, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd take the Commanders if we were taking the spread, but that's not how this works.
What's the spread?
The last time I saw was 9.5.
Well, let's see
I was
here.
like, that's a big number. And I think that this Commanders offense is really good. I think one of the strengths of the Lions is that they go for it on fourth down constantly. The Commanders do that too, man. Like they're the two best fourth down teams in the NFL, and the Commanders are the best fourth down team in the NFL for the last quarter century of football. Like they're 87%. Like what is that? But when you're talking about what makes the Lions special, I'm not really concerned with the offense and Jaden Daniels. Like I think that they're going to be fine. They're going to have a lot of production. They're going to put up a lot of points in that game. Just don't think it's going to be enough points because I don't know how you stop this Lions defense, and you certainly can't stop it with what the Commanders have defensively. It's just not quite good enough. The Commanders are surprisingly a top 10 defense. I didn't know that, but somehow by the end of the season they were. I think you need like a top 5, maybe even a top 3 defense to slow down this Lions offense. They don't have it. They're not close enough yet. So I'm sure it's going to be one of those games where you're like, wow, good job, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm taking the Lions, man. Like, I just don't see how they actually win the game.
Yeah. I mean, well said. And I'm looking forward to seeing the game. And, I'll be honest, part of me is happy with whichever team wins. I'd be pulling for the Washington Commandos just because wouldn't that just be amazing? But heartbreaking to see that happen to the Detroit Lions after everything that they've been through. You think about what you've been through. They haven't been. They haven't even gotten a Super Bowl. You see, so it's like, you hate to see them get that close and fail. I know you don't care. Everybody else is that's just tough.
It's got to be us or them. And the way I see it, it might as well be them. It's not personal. Somebody got to lose.
Whoever wins is right. Whoever wins is right. I'll be okay with that. But
yeah, I have a friend
need to see the Lions win this.
I have a friend who's a Lions fan, and I thought there was going to be a lot of trash talk this week. There's none. There's just a whole lot of
respect.
Yeah, we've been telling each other good luck all year, and now it's like this week.
Yeah, well, then you didn't think it mattered.
Yeah, now it's like, look, man, I can't say it this week. Have fun though.
I think a game like this makes Jaden Daniels that much better next year.
Absolutely,
that's what the key is to this.
To have basically double the playoff experience of the only other rookie to make the playoffs.
Right.
It puts you ahead of everybody.
Yep,
it just does. Having these early appearances and you have a good showing. Yep. If you have a game that's close and goes down to the wire, you're going toe to toe with a really good team. Like that's the kind of stuff that leads to long-term success. And I also think if they were to lose a heartbreaker there, now he's even hungrier for the future. And his work ethic is already insane. So I'm excited.
All right, getting up to the next game, the Rams. Here's a little bit of information for you. Tyler Higbee now has no injury designation. He had gone to the hospital with some chest contusion. He was spitting up blood, but now they've got him back in, and he is good to go.
He's absolutely playing with a Kevlar vest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
You were never going to stop him playing anyways, as it is. So Bat Flipper says, Ralph, I really hope your Rams beat the Eagles. Eagles and Chiefs, the only teams who are in there, I hope don't win. Okay.
I mean, I don't really care. I'm not against the Chiefs at all. I have nothing against the Chiefs. I mean, obviously the Eagles, I just
sick of
well, I don't
want them to win either.
A lot of hatred for the Eagles coming from you in that division, but also the Rams, Jared Verse. He says, I hate Eagles fans. He says they're annoying. I hate them fans. Whenever I see the green and white, I hate it. I actually get upset. Like I actually get genuinely hot. He says, I guess the reason is because, he took a lot of flack from those fans. He says, I didn't even do nothing to him. My first time playing. Oh, I hate Eagles fans. I mean, he really hates Eagles fans. And then Saquon Barkley hears that and says, yeah, it's probably not the smartest thing to say when you're coming to Philadelphia. He's like, I've been on the other side on the Giants, and even if I felt some sort of way, probably wouldn't have said nothing.
It's rookie mistake.
Pretty sure Philly fans have seen his comments, and if you thought it was going to be loud before, you've just added to it. He is not wrong. He is not wrong at all. And here's something else that'll make it even more interesting. And when the fans are involved, you give them, you bum. Then you hand them, what's this? Snowballs. Yes, it's going to be a snow game.
Yeah.
And if it's a snow game, Jared Verse is going to be the most pelted player on that field.
These people threw snowballs at Santa Claus. What makes you think they wouldn't throw snowballs at you? He's a rookie. This is a rookie mistake. He doesn't know any better, but he's about to learn a valuable lesson in keeping your mouth shut when you go to the rink. Don't antagonize those people.
It's going to be interesting to see a Hawaiian trying to catch balls in the snow. Puka Nacua, this is not something he's used to. Admittedly, he's like, yeah, I can't really think of how it's going to affect me. He's like, well, we're going to be wearing our 7-stud cleats and stuff, but
he's had Hawaiian shaved ice.
Oh, that is it. He'll just be sitting there trying to flavor it. He's like, that's good.
I don't think he's ever played in the Hawaiian shaved ice before.
You never know.
All right, listen, we got to take a break. We come back. We've got the Eagles and the Rams. We got the Bills and the Ravens. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Sports bettors, we've all been there. You have a live bet lined up, you check the odds one more time, place the bet only to see the bet delayed by the spinny wheel, line move, and your bet rejected. My name's Alex Kane, and I'm the founder and CEO of SportTrade, Arizona's newest sports betting app. At the core of the SportTrade offering is our probability-based odds. In other words, the Cardinals may be offered at 55% odds to win, a lot simpler than minus 125. Place your bet at 55% odds, and as your win probability changes, so does the value of your bet, giving you the ability to cash out with total control. And the best part, no spinning wheels. Live bets on SportTrade are instantly accepted. Download SportTrade on your iPhone today and use code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet in your first week. Terms apply.
SportTrade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with any base. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Catch all the action of NCAA men's basketball, starting with the game of the week. Got it! Oh, wow, man. Conference and regional tournaments, NCAA tourney, March Madness, and the championship game live. Fires from 3. Oh, he hit it! Don't miss a moment on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic,
and always on at 1580thefanatic.com. Your home for March Madness.
Hey, Blender here on 1580, the Fanatic. Moist One says snowballs with batteries in the middle.
Nice.
There, no, that's true.
No, that's what happened to Santa.
That's so funny.
That's not even a joke. Like that's.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah, they had to take Santa. The security golf cart came out and whisked Santa away, to save his life.
Mr. Wilbur says at Philadelphia, first 50,000 fans get a battery they can put inside a snowball. That's a nice giveaway.
It's a Duracell day.
Or Energizer, the bunny. The bunny sitting there chucking snowballs at Santa.
It's if you're 12, you get 2. If you're under 12, you get 2 because you're really trying to teach the kids, the next generation. Children are the future.
They need a second shot at it, and they're at the velocity and distance from a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. All right, so Matthew Stafford and the Rams, not really built for snow, not really used to snow. Well, Stafford, no, because he played in Ford Field too. So,
but he did play in the NFC North, so you did have those games in Lambeau. You did have those games in Soldier Field. Yeah,
I don't know what his record is in the snow. I mean, a cold game is a cold game. A snow game is a different animal altogether. Just different things that you gotta worry about. Okay, so Philadelphia, more snow than cold, and Philadelphia at home. I'm really not sure what to. I mean, I'm going to go ahead. I'll tell you right up front. I'm taking the Eagles, just based on the entirety of what the Eagles are, what they can do on offense, what they can sustain on defense. The Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley tandem run threat, which defenses do have a hard time with. And, granted, the passing game, it can go off, but it's probably not gonna. But, the thing is with the Rams, mostly a passing threat with Higbee, Kupp, and Nakua. They do have some decent running, but I just feel like Rams are okay. Eagles are on a different level. So I'm going to have Ralph go last, since we already know he's picking the Rams because he's dumb. But Keon, why don't you go ahead and give your analysis?
Yeah, I don't know that the Eagles are on this drastically different level than the Rams. It doesn't feel like that.
I didn't say drastic. I said a step up. They are a level up from them.
I'm not sure, but I will say that the matchup isn't good for the Rams. Like I think that when you're playing in the cold, I want to run the ball. If I'm a coach, like if I have Saquon Barkley, I know exactly what I'm doing. And if there's snow involved, then I really want to run the ball because throwing the football starts to become a whole lot more difficult. So like in this particular game, in that particular stadium, this time of year, this is a Philadelphia game. If ever there was a Philadelphia game, you combine that with the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles have the number 2 passing defense. They just don't give up a lot of yards in the air. And quite frankly, it's hard to score on them in the air too. Stafford can do it. Like Stafford is the kind of guy that if he's rolling, it really doesn't matter how good your defense is. You can play perfect defense. He will put the ball where you can't get it. And that's the end of that. But it's hard to ask for that in the cold. It's hard to ask for that with the snow. And I just think the weather is actually such a big factor here that it doesn't play to what the Rams like to do and what the Rams want to do. And it does everything for what the Eagles want to do. I'm taking the Birds.
All right. So we're both going with the Birds. We both know that. I hope it's a good game, but I feel like the Eagles will dominate. That's what I think. I think they will dominate.
Yeah.
Ralph probably feels differently.
The last thing the Vikings fans said.
Oh, wait, one more thing. You're dumb.
Okay. The last things Vikings fans said to us on Monday night was, "Good luck next week. You're going to need it. You don't have a prayer." I thought that was nice.
I didn't say you didn't have a prayer.
No, but that's what they said.
I just said nice. You're dumb. That's all.
Here's the problem. People think about the Eagles. They think about Saquon Barkley. They think about Jalen Hurts. I think about that offensive line. That offensive line is sick. This weather plays right into their strength. Like you guys are all just saying. I can't argue any of that. The Rams last week, I noticed one thing they didn't do a lot was run. They like to do screen passes more than anything. and then they go downfield for a Nakua or a Cooper Cup. But I don't know if that's going to be there this week. This is tough. The Rams defense, I think, can have a little bit of an impact on the run, but look what Barkley did last time you played the Rams. What do you have? 250 yards rushing?
300 yards
total
scrimmage.
Yeah, but like 250 rushing, I think.
Yeah,
something stupid like that with 2 touchdowns. So it's going to come down to, I'm not a big Nick Sirianni guy. I know that Keon's not either. Can McVay figure out a way? They've had the experience. They played them and lost by 17 points. Can they do some adjustments to stop them from doing what they like to do? And will Sirianni just come in and do what he's always done, or is he going to try to change it up too? I don't know. I would think he would try to just do what he's already done until they stop it. So I think it comes down to the coaching a little bit. Is can McVay make the adjustments needed? Because that defense on the Rams, I think, could stop the run somewhat. They're a lot better. They're getting better every week. Remember, they're really young. With all that said, I don't think the Rams have a chance in hell to win this game. I just don't. I think this game is prime for the Eagles of the weather and everything else. I think the Eagles win, and I think it makes for a great NFC Championship game.
All right. So as I expected, we are going to be on the first 3 games a unanimous decision.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I got to pause everything for a moment. Lost Toby sent me one of the funniest things I've seen in a while. You're going to have to picture it because I can see it, but you can picture it. Ready? In the movie, Macaulay Culkin as Joe Burrow. Yeah, we've already made that comparison.
Yeah, everybody has.
Steve Carell as Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty good. Samuel L. Jackson as Lamar Jackson.
Really young Samuel L. Jackson.
Ryan Gosling as Jared Goff. Chris Evans as Josh Allen. And Peter Dinklage as Kyler Murray.
Oh my
God. Wow. That's funny.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab this and post this on Twitter.
Yeah,
that's how good it is. And when you see the picture, that is funny as hell. Thanks for sending that, Lost Toby. Number 1 Rattlers fan says, I already bet all 3 outdoor unders and the over at Detroit. I like all the favorites except for the Rams. I think they'll keep it close. And congratulations, Ralph, on winning your fantasy football championship.
Thank you.
He keeps texting that in, even if you're not here. Constantly texting that
because it's a big feat. It's a huge accomplishment, and I take it. And I will proudly hold up my blessing when I get it.
Yeah, you'll get it when you get it.
Stupid.
Don't demand things. Let's see here.
My wife says that all the time.
Oh yeah, she's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to what is probably going to be the coldest game of the year. Maybe 0 degrees is what they're saying. Coldest game of Lamar Jackson's career as they make the drive up from. Did they drive from Maryland, or do you think they still fly? Like they fly the players, they drive the stuff.
Yeah, they flew.
Or they fly everything because, good God, there's snowy conditions. I don't know. I don't know how they do things. None of my business. But Lamar Jackson, I've seen him in cold games. He does not like cold. He goes out in the cold. He will play in the cold. He hates the cold. You can see he's just like.
Yeah, it's a double check here, but Lamar Jackson is from Pompano Beach, Florida. That's why he does not like the cold. He's a Floridian.
Not interested in cold. And they said that he's like, why don't you wear some gloves? And he's like, I tried to wear gloves in practice and I was horrible. He says, I'll leave that up to Teddy Two Gloves Bridgewater, but he says, like, I can't do it. And he says, hopefully there'll be some heaters on the sideline. He says, I'll have a bigger jacket. He says, I'll have to talk to the equipment manager. He's really worried about this. So he's concentrated on the wrong thing right now. And I don't blame him. The kickoff temperature is supposed to be 12 degrees with a wind chill of -3. And remember, this game is at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, which means sun has been down for just about an hour or two, and it's getting colder, and it's getting colder. It is going to be miserable out there, especially after halftime. You're going to be all warm in there. You're like, I don't want to go back. It's going to be bad. This is going to be bad. That said, I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a great game between these two teams. I think the ball is going to hurt your hands when you try to catch it. So when they go to throw, you're going to see some easy passes dropped. Both quarterbacks are capable of throwing in the cold. It's the catching that hurts. All right, so let's take a look. Look, they got Derrick Henry, probably going to run the ball a lot. It's not the same as the snow game, but because of the fact that you go out there and you throw the ball, and it's like, bang, ow, no, they're going to run it because it's safer in this sort of weather. But the Bills, who do the Bills have to run?
James Cook.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's pretty solid.
He ain't
man.
no Derrick Henry.
He had a heck of a year.
Yeah, he did.
He's no Derrick Henry.
Well, no one's Derrick Henry.
Well, Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. Don't say no one's Derrick Henry.
Aside from Derrick Henry.
Well, you didn't say that, did you?
Yeah, didn't think
That
I had
no
to make
one
that
is
particular.
Derrick
I
Henry.
assumed that we all were on
Derrick
the same
Henry's
page.
Derrick Henry. He's
That
got ID and everything.
Aside from the Derrick Henry, that no one was Derrick Henry. But I
Pictures of him
suppose
with-
I'll have to spell it out now.
Probably his
Aside
name
from
on it.
Derrick Henry, no one is Derrick Henry. I
Yeah,
hope you're
I'm
happy
asking-
with yourself.
I'm
It's just very pedantic of you to do.
I just
It's
feel
unbelievable.
like if you need to be more pedantic around here. So, all right. Well, Keon cools off. We'll let Ralph tell us what he thinks. I think this is this should be the closest game we have.
I mean, you said that Lamar Jackson hates the cold, right?
Oh God, he hates the cold,
but he plays great in it. That's the thing, right?
Because he is prepared.
He's a guy who can also run.
Right. He's 3-1 in games below 32 degrees, and he has his highest passer rating of any quarterback in the league in those games, 109. So it doesn't bother him, which is a good thing.
Yeah, see, I said earlier, it doesn't bother Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson to throw the ball.
Right.
It's harder to catch. The ball is now feels heavier. It's like they say, "Hey, give me the rock." It feels like a rock in this sort of weather.
Right. And that's a great point, which is why I like the idea of having receivers that play in this all the time that are used to it, like the Bills receivers. It does make a difference. And Josh Allen throws the ball really well in the cold.
Yeah. And by the way, the Ravens will probably not have Zay Flowers. He was out of practice again today.
Didn't hurt him last week, but I think could impact him this week. But in week 4, the Ravens beat the Bills 35-10, right? So I think the Bills are looking to maybe make up for that. They're 9-0 at home. I think were they 8-0 or 9-0 at home this year, whatever it was. I mean, so they're just playing really well at home. This is another team. I feel like it's their year to get there. I've been saying it most of the year. I must stay with it until they give me a reason not to. Obviously, they lose. I'm taking the Bills. I think this is a really close, fantastic game, but I think the Bills are going to find a way. Josh Allen will finish this game with a final drive and win it and put it into the next round. That's what I think. So I'm going Bills.
I'm having a hard time with this. I am. I over the course of the week, I'll usually do preliminary picks like on a Monday. I'll say, all right, let's take a look. And I won't even think about it. I'll just pick stuff. And then over the next couple of days, I'll go back and take a look and think, what about this? I can't make up my mind on Bills and Ravens. The fact that it's super cold is a more of an effect, but you're right. Raven Kid just sent that same stat, 109.3 passer rating in cold climate games, the highest amongst all quarterbacks. So Ravens number wide receiver 1, says Raven Kid, is Rashad Bateman. Played college Minnesota. That dude knows cold.
Yeah.
So
and even if Zay Flowers
Bateman's not as consistent though.
If Zay Flowers were to defy the odds and play, he went to Boston College. I mean, he has some ability to operate in the cold as well. Yeah, it's a tough one.
So I'm going back and forth. What do you got, Keon? Who are you picking?
I'm actually going Baltimore. And I'm doing it because because I think that even though you're probably not going to have Zay Flowers, you've got a tight end situation that actually helps you a lot in the cold as well.
Mark Andrews is a beast,
and Isaiah Likely, who was a bigger part of the offense a week ago too, in the absence of Zay Flowers. So they have some guys who can work the underneath. So you talk about, the ball hurts to catch when it's cold. Well, that you're not trying to throw the ball 40 yards downfield. The tight ends are going to be where that's at. And then, of course, I think Derrick Henry is the X factor in this game because you're trying to keep that Bills offense off the field. I think this is one of those games where the Ravens play defense rather by playing offense. You try to keep the drives long. You try to keep them, move the chains, keep the clock running. And I think that the Ravens are going to try and play possession football, power football, essentially just recreate what they did to the Steelers. It's not going to be as easy, obviously, because Josh Allen is better than Russell Wilson right now. But I do think that when you're talking about being able to have these 10, 11, 12, 14 play drives that burn up 8 or 9 minutes off the clock. I think that's what the Ravens want to do in this game anyway. And it's a similar situation to why I picked the Eagles. When you're talking about weather like this, and there may be some precipitation involved in this game too. So throwing the football just becomes not the ideal option. I think the team that runs the ball the best is going to have the best day. And that'd be Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
True story on that. But the Bills, well-rounded. They've got a lot of tricks up their sleeves. I picked the Bills initially, but I'm not sure I've made my final choice, because everything you say about the Ravens, you're right. Everything Ralph said about the Bills, he's right. I don't know.
Yeah, and like the Bills have a factor of it too. Like the wind is going to be really swirling in Buffalo like it does this time of year, and Josh Allen's got the arm to make those throws. On the other end of it, can Cooper and Shakir and Coleman haul them in? We'll see how that goes. But like, as far as being able to cut through the swirling air with some hard passes, Allen can do that.
Bruno Baller says, as long as Scott Norwood's not the kicker for the Bills, I like their chances. Sure.
Like, to be a great kicker and then you miss the most important kicks of your career, and that's all anybody remembers you for. Not all the other ones you made, just those two.
Chief Skull says, all right, Ravens beat Bills by 3. Chiefs beat Houston by 3. Lions beat Commanders by 0. Wait, that means they tied?
That'd be tough.
You can't do that in a playoff game.
Yeah, there's no tie there, man. Eagles beat Rams by 75. That might happen. Rainy City Bitch Pigeon says, don't underestimate the effect of the weather on the kicking game and special teams. Well, nobody's doing that. Nobody's underestimating. I feel like we've properly estimated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've talked about the weather quite a bit.
Were you listening? Did you listen? Okay. Big George, yes, we did we say this on air? No. Sasaki just announced that yes, he is signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Okay, he has already signed. Done
deal. There you go. Got to change the name from the Dodgers to something Japanese. What? Somebody should do a translation and find what is you gotta say you go English to Japanese. You put in a-holes, and wow. I don't think Dodgers will translate.
Blue wave.
Blue douches.
No.
Will Dodgers even translate directly in
probably not
Japanese?
Well, probably will. I don't know, I'm not Japanese.
You know, like the Doge coins, something like that. I don't know. Keon's looking it up. Yeah,
smart decision by that kid.
I can answer this question. Chief Skull says, "What's the Dodgers payroll now?" A lot.
Nah,
he says $3 billion. Yeah, probably.
He's only getting 6 or 7 million.
Did I just hear it give the pronunciation?
You did not.
Oh,
it was in Q.
Oh, I heard it.
Okay. Well,
so what is it?
Kaihisha.
Kaisha.
Mm-hmm.
Kaisha.
Kaihisha.
Kaihisha.
I think I dated her.
I thought there was the girl on the Cosby Show.
Kaisha, yeah, I think I did. What do you mean?
Kaisha Knight Pullum, I think was her name. Remember, played the little girl.
You mean Keisha? Wasn't her name Keisha?
Isn't that what he just said?
He said Kaisha.
Oh, so that's just so Dodgers does translate. I'm surprised.
Like dodging a ball.
If you can dodge, or yeah. Anyway, I'm just I can't even have fun with this. Just sick. It's just sickening.
Wow.
How much money and then all these players just gonna laugh if you guys don't make the playoffs again.
They ain't done making moves this offseason. There's still a couple more coming. So
number one Rattlers fan says, hey guys, does the overtime rules change because how they do it with extra? Huh? All I know is you can't have a tie in the playoff game.
Yeah, they'll just keep playing.
Mm-hmm. Rainy City Bitch Pigeon says, so for a game-winning field goal, do you want the guy who lives there or the guy who just came to town?
I want the guy that lives there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want the guy who lives there, especially because the air moves. And when the Ravens last played the Bills in Buffalo, that was a thing that happened. There were kicks that for Justin Tucker are normally automatic. And then the air took his ball and just threw it somewhere else. And he was just like, I don't know what to do. So you have to account for actually the swirling air. I don't know how you do that, but we'll see how it
There's
works
a reason
out.
the Bills are 9-0 at home. I mean,
it's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chief Skull, thank you for that. All right, let's just take a break. So there you go. That's our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks and Dodger hateful moment. And last word goes to Raven Kid. Touchdown. Don't end it in the NFL anymore. Opposing team gets to match no matter what when it comes to overtime.
He's right. That's a newer rule. I remember that.
I wish they'd get that straightened out. I wish our
if it's good
rules.
enough for the playoffs, then why isn't that just the
Yeah.
rule?
Yeah.
Then we don't have ties ever.
Right. We should never have ties ever.
I don't understand this.
This is America. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I don't know. Do you need more time to do your college basketball thing? Then, or do you want to wait to the next hour for that?
I think that's it. I've got enough time.
You got enough time? All right. So when we come back, we'll have Keon Rose's college basketball dance party. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Named one of the best personal finance podcasts, The Stacking Benjamin Show with Joe and his friends makes financial literacy fun.
Draymond Green has a podcast. He was asking Mark Cuban why at the beginning of 2024, Cuban sold a huge part of his company.
He's like, did you see how much money I got? I'm sure there's a more graceful answer than that. But dude, I bought it for $200 million and sold it for $6 billion. Like, what the heck? Of
I
course
don't think it was
sold
that much more graceful than that.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
Head coach Bobby Hurley and Sun Devil men's basketball are ready to join the Big 12 Conference. This season, the Sun Devils host conference foes Baylor, Iowa State, Arizona, TCU, and Houston, all at Desert Financial Arena.
And another steal ahead to Miller, and Miller reverses it up and in, and he's fouled. Holy moly.
Join the action and get your Sun Devil men's basketball tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
This holiday season, make sure your plans include a sober ride home. Before the party starts, make sure you have a safe way home. Call a sober friend, taxi, or rideshare, because buzz driving is still drunk driving, and drunk driving can land you in serious trouble. Don't ruin the holidays. Plan ahead and get home safe to avoid a DUI. For more information, visit drivesober.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Never again will you have to say, I missed that segment. I'm such a dinkus.
He's so lame.
Never miss an important segment, favorite host, or show again. Check out our podcast and listen whenever and wherever you want.
It's the reason Al Gore invented the internet.
Follow us on Facebook or Twitter or at 1580thefanatic.com.
Dave Linder here on 1580 The Fanatic. It's time for Keon Rose's college basketball dance party. One rule that I must insist on, Keon.
Okay.
No, you Arizona.
I'm only doing top 25 teams.
Shot by Keon.
That's not even trash talk. Those are the only teams I'm doing. There is no U Arizona on here.
unless they're really going to get their asses kicked, then I'd be right.
I mean,
unless they're really going to get pummeled. At that point, it's a different kind of thing.
Sure. I don't know. I didn't even look at their game, to be honest. So
that's fine. That's cool.
I have nothing to add as far as they're concerned.
All right. Well, then, without further ado, here's Keon Rose with his college basketball dance party.
All right. So we're going to get this thing started with, something to maybe make Radio Ron a little bit happy. Number 20, Illinois is visiting number 12, Michigan State. And we talked about how they were climbing up the AP top 25 earlier in the show. And this is, the Big Ten matchup of the weekend. Last week's not so good. Purdue, Nebraska, that one got really, really ugly. But I think that Michigan State and Illinois, this is going to be a much better game, especially with the way that Michigan State has been playing lately. And when you look at what Michigan State's strength is in this particular game, it's going to be depth. They have Jaden Akins, and he is averaging 14 points a game. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but they don't need it to be a lot because they have they have multiple players that are averaging 13 minutes a game, and all of them contribute over the course of the game. So you have guys that aren't scoring a ton, but everybody is scoring, and that is something a lot of college basketball programs don't necessarily have. And while Illinois is going to get Kasparis Jakacionis back into their lineup, and he's a big part of what they do over there, I think that Michigan State has enough firepower. They're going to be able to roll in this particular matchup. When you look across the SEC, Ole Miss visiting Mississippi State. These two teams hate each other. They are two of the more efficient teams in college basketball. They do not make a lot of mistakes. And when you look at how they dominate the ball, they try to force turnovers a lot. They're really good at forcing that for other teams. The team that breaks first in this game is probably going to wind up losing. My guess is that Mississippi State's going to end up winning this game because, Ole Miss is going to wind up winning this game because when you look at what Mississippi State has done when they lose the ball, lose the game, they fail to get stops when they really, really need it. Like, that's something that I don't think that you can afford to have happen in college basketball, especially down the stretch in games. You need to be able to stop the other team from scoring. And if you have two efficient teams and one team all of a sudden can't get stops, even though Mississippi State playing at home, playing their rivals, and they're favored in this game by 4.5, I just don't really trust them coming down the stretch to do what it takes to finish out ball games. Number 17, Purdue is taking on number 13, Oregon. And I think that this is another game where you've got two teams that play very efficiently. They're two of the faster paced teams in college basketball. And I think what you need to look at in this particular game is just what team shoots the three ball the best. I think that from range, both of these teams do a pretty good job, but Purdue is much better at it than Oregon is. Purdue has been making at least 10 threes in 6 different games that they've played so far this year, where Oregon, they're still good, but they're not as great. And they've only been able to hit that 10 3-pointer mark in only a couple of games that they've played. And when you're dealing with two teams that can also protect the rim, it's hard to get into the paint and score. 3-point shooting is going to be the trend there. I'll take the Purdue Boilermakers to beat Oregon on the road. Next game coming up is Creighton at number 14, UConn. And I like Creighton. I really do. They're a basketball school through and through, even when there are years where they're not ranked.
Wait a minute. Are they in the top 25?
They're not, but they're playing a top 25 team in UConn.
I'll allow it.
I didn't say both teams had to be a top 25 team, just one of the teams involved.
All right.
And this is a game where, like, you have two teams that just can win an awful lot. We already know how much winning UConn does. They go to the national championship every year, it feels like. But I think the stat in this particular game is that UConn is 49-0 at home when they lead at halftime since 2021, which is a wild stat. So Creighton, if they want to get in this game and get a chance to win this game, I think that they're going to have to find some way to not be down at halftime, because they are 0-3 this season and 2-13 since 2021 when they trail at the half on the road. If they are behind when this at halftime in this game, you can stop watching. I think like the game's just over. Like UConn is just that good, and they're just so dominant. And I know that, Creighton has had, upsets, and they've been able to go into places and beat schools that are better than them. But this is not necessarily one of those spots. We got number 1 Auburn at number 23 Georgia, and I really, really like this game because I like defense. That's something that's very important to me when I like to watch teams play. These two teams protect the rim probably better than anybody else in college basketball. No easy baskets, probably the name of this game. And I think that when you're looking at teams that also like to attack the basket, the team that does a better job of protecting the rim is going to be the winner of this game. I think that Georgia probably winds up getting the win here because they're also really good at playing outside as well. If you can't get inside, you're going to have to find your way to be a whole lot more efficient. And I think that Georgia can do that because they've got guys who can score in the mid-range as well. And, they can get hot from three. They've been known to do some damage as well. And then the last game that I have that I think is going to be the most fun matchup of the entire weekend, the Alabama Crimson Tide, the Kentucky Wildcats, they're going head to head. And I don't know how much defense is going to be played in this game, to be honest. Alabama's averaging 89.5 points per game. I mean, it's just absurd, what they're doing. They're up and down the floor. Kentucky, the number for them is 70. If Kentucky can get to 70, they're 14-0 when they score in those games. And if they don't get to 70, they are 0-3. A lot of turnovers can be forced in this game as well. I think they're going to be up and down. I'll take the Kentucky Wildcats at home because I think they understand what they have to do, which is put up a lot of points early in the game and try and hold off Alabama late. And I think they're capable of doing that. So I'll go with the Kentucky Wildcats there.
All right. So you gave us some picks for this week, but real quick, since we just got a moment, right now, off the top of your head, who do you like to win the whole damn thing? If you had to choose right now, I know it's a loaded thing because you got a whole tournament, but if you looked at these teams, you're like, my God, these people, they seem like champions right now. Who would you pick?
Who would I pick right now?
And I hate this too when people ask me, who you got for the Super Bowl, like at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and we're like halfway through the college basketball season. We really are just now getting into conference play.
But who's dominant? Who's the dominant team right now? You could say your mom if you need to. You've got that right there if you need it.
But that feels kind of like a cop out. I like a lot of the SEC schools. If we're going on pure dominance right now, I'll say Auburn.
All right,
I'll say Auburn. They are just intensely good. They're very deep. They play both sides of the ball really well. But I mean, UConn started slow. UConn was uncharacteristically slow to start the season, and now they're starting to look a whole lot more like the UConn we know. And by the end of the season, maybe they're right back to where they were because they played a lot of tough non-conference games, stumbled early there, and then they've been getting stuff back on track.
What about Iowa State? I mean, their only loss is that 2-point loss to Auburn.
Yeah. And Iowa State is, Iowa State's up there too, right? Like, this is why this is such a tough question to answer. And again, you're talking about an Iowa State team that when you get to be the top of the Big 12, like that says a lot to me because that is the best basketball conference in the country. And they don't just beat people in the Big 12, they dominate them.
Yep.
888-368-1580. Kiss the Cook says, getting ready for Quartzsite crazy weekend, 20 pounds of asado and Italian beef to feed 20 of my camping buddies.
Wow.
You're going to Quartzsite for a camping thing? Huh. Yeah, there's not a whole lot out there but rocks. I mean, that's why they call it Quartzsite. But all right. Well, that's cool, man. Enjoy. Robert from Surprise says, hey, Roki Sasaki just signed with the Dodgers. There we go. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, but thank you, Robert. We did. How do you say his name? Is it Roki
Sasaki?
It is Roki Sasaki. Oh, okay, I thought it was longer than that.
You say champion.
I say well paid.
Not yet.
Well,
he can't be. 2 more years.
What do you mean?
He signed a minor league contract.
Oh.
If he would have waited 2 more years, he could have came in and got Yamamoto kind of money, but he's coming now. So he sacrificed the money.
Wow. Interesting. Great. Let's not talk about that anymore. We come back to football. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. Then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Terms and conditions apply.
Colorectal cancer is the leading cancer killer in men under 50 and the second leading cause of cancer death for women under 50. The American College of Radiology urges you to get screened starting at age 45. Now, Medicare and insurance companies are required to cover not only colonoscopy, but less invasive exams like virtual colonoscopy. Talk to your doctor about your options. For more information on virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org/virtual CT.
Furnished by American College of Radiology.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. That's when the afternoon took an exciting turn. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful DC turbo engine, well, we had more than enough time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few.
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now, Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000 MSRP. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. 2024 Nissan Altima, Kicks, Leaf, Rogue, Sentra, and Versa. All prices are manufacturer's suggested retail price. Manufacturer's suggested retail price excludes destination and handling charges, tax, title, license, and options. Dealer sets actual prices.
Did you know that vitamins are your partners in health, not just inside, but outside too? These nutrients are key to our daily well-being. And for anyone who can get pregnant, folic acid is a must for preventing birth defects, helping you have a healthier pregnancy. The Arizona Department of Health Services is offering 3 months of free daily vitamins with folic acid. Power your health inside and out. Get your free vitamins at azdhs.gov/PowerMeA2C.
Sponsored by the Arizona Department of Health Services.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
Quiet, people, settle down.
Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. He'll be back Monday, but we got Keon Rose in the control room. We got Ralph from Harmon Solar. We got you guys in the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, broadcasting live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. I had to look it up to see if it was even true. I don't know about this, man. A lot of people are getting sick right now. People getting the flu, people getting the COVID, people getting the sniffles, people getting the common cold, people getting the RSV, RSVP. I don't know what the hell they're getting. Everybody's getting something. But I saw this, and at first I was like, this can't be real. And I looked it up. It is real. And then I had to like grapple with whether or not I would ever. Would you? Here's what I'm talking about. Progresso, the people who make soup, they just debuted new chicken noodle soup flavored cough drops.
Oh.
And here's the thing. The reason I didn't think it was real is the can says soup you can suck on.
Oh gosh. Soup drops.
That just made me like soup you can suck on.
Yeah.
So that's real. Those are real things. So soup flavored lozenges, they're not medicated in any way. So they're technically marketed as soup flavored candy, which is, that's actually grosser. I mean, honestly, if you tell me it's medicine, I'm like, all right, I can kind of
still
see
don't.
that.
No, if you tell me it's medicine, I still don't want it, because in the situations where I want soup, I want soup. And when I want a cough
it
drop,
comes with soup.
then I could just get the soup.
Why are you being difficult? It comes with soup and it's also cough drops.
But that's what I'm saying. I lose the cough drops. I don't need the cough drops. Then I need the soup. When I want a cough drop, I want it to taste like a cough drop. When I get the soup,
try it. Maybe it's great. Maybe it's amazing. You don't know.
No, I have a pretty good idea. I'm sorry.
Soup you can suck on.
You can make educated guesses about things you've never tried. I am never going to try that. That's ridiculous, and it's disgusting. Good for you.
No,
I'll try it.
No.
Good for you.
You don't think you wouldn't try it, Ralph?
No.
I want my soup to taste like soup and my cough drop to taste like cough drop. I don't want either of those things to taste like the other thing.
I wouldn't mind a cookies and cream cough drop. I'd probably do that.
I just told you this soup you can suck on, and everybody's always telling you to suck on it, Ralph. This is your chance to suck on it, and it's soup flavored.
Well, in that case, I can do it on the show, so everybody can see me suck it, and then they can stop.
Yeah. No,
they'll probably never stop.
Never stop. So you get 20 soup drops for $2.49, plus $1 for shipping, and you also get a can of the actual soup along with it.
I'll just buy the soup.
Why does this make you so angry? I feel like this makes you angry.
Why would I want a cough drop to taste like soup? Why would I want anything to taste like
innovation?
Soup that isn't soup? Some innovations don't have to happen. They're not all good. Is every innovation good?
Keanu, are you convinced that this is the thing
peanut butter whiskey good?
First we get the soup drops. Next thing, there's Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
They're
on the way.
Is peanut butter whiskey good? Because that's innovation.
I've never had it, and I don't want it.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Difference. That whiskey is sacred. Soup is just soup.
Soup is not candy.
Soup's not whiskey.
Whiskey
soup.
Yeah.
Why can't we have whiskey soup?
You can. Chicken whiskey.
I've never had whiskey soup.
But whiskey soup makes infinitely more sense than chicken soup candy.
It'll kill everything in you. You know what I mean? That's medicine.
It might kill you also, but it's worth the risk.
Let's not get
worth the risk.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going back to the lab. Let's forget we talked about this. Copyright Jeffrey O'Brien, 2025. Don't steal my idea or I'm suing your ass. All right. So no to the all right, how about this? Cheetos is coming out with a new Cheetos puff. It's Cheetos cheese pizza flavor. Like the flavor of cheese pizza.
That's not bad.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
They say it tastes just like a slice from your favorite pizza shop.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
But if it's true, I would like that.
Yeah, it never does.
They always say that, but if it's true, I would like that. But I have doubts.
Oh, I don't know about this. Doritos. Everybody loves Doritos. Yeah. Who doesn't love a Dorito? Do you love Doritos?
Can't eat them, but yeah.
All right, but your mouth loves Doritos.
I do love Doritos, yeah.
Keon, you love Doritos?
Love Doritos. Cool Ranch.
Yeah, of course. Cool Ranch, regular, I don't even care. Although they seem saltier than they used to be. Is it my imagination or did they start putting more of the flavoring on? It feels like there's an awful lot of flavoring on it.
I don't eat them enough.
Yeah, you need to stop eating them too.
I can't say for sure.
Well, they've been around since the 60s and they've evolved. They weren't always this dusted with flavor, but they've always been one thing, a triangle. But now people are looking at, I don't know why you'd why you would even follow this, but Doritos UK Instagram. Well, I don't follow any of my snacks on social media. Does that make me wrong? No. But they had an image of a square chip on there, a square Dorito, and it says the shape of things to come.
Okay. Are people mad about this? What?
People are freaking out.
Does it taste like a Dorito?
They're like, it won't be the same. It has to be a triangle. What if it's an isosceles? I don't care what the hell it is as long as it tastes good.
Yeah, if it tastes like a Dorito, it's a Dorito.
Although the Wheat Thins account was like, hey, it looks good. Square looks good on you. Why not? I don't know if this is a real thing, but whatever happens, I think we'll all be okay. I'll still eat Doritos if they turn them square. I don't care what shape.
As long as it tastes like a Dorito, that's all that matters.
This Valentine's Day, Brock's is going to launch a new global version of its conversation hearts. They're going to have sentimental sayings from around the world. So now it's going to be in a lot of crap you can't read. Ralph can barely read English. Now he's got to figure out what all these other hearts say.
It's true.
I don't know if this is going to have the same effect I think it's going to have. And I feel like somebody in a factory somewhere is going to say something filthy in Finnish. You watch. We won't know until later. And we're like, oh my God. But hey, you know what? I was promised pizza earlier this week. I never got pizza.
You don't want pizza.
I do want pizza.
No,
listen, not everybody is gluten intolerant. Okay.
No, but some people have salt issues too.
I take medication that allows me to eat what I want.
And there's the problem.
My high blood pressure is not a problem. As long as I forgot to take my pill like the other day, rocked me. I felt like crap. I'm one of the people who can actually feel the effects of high blood pressure.
I can too.
Like, oh my God, I was ruined.
It's like getting hit by a truck.
Can't ever forget to take that pill. But when I do take it, guess what? I eat what I want.
That's the problem.
It's not a problem. It's great.
If you do less of that, you can get off the meds.
No, but my meds make it where I don't have to worry about it.
It's just it's a phony feeling. Get off
better
the meds.
living through chemistry.
No,
I'm happy.
not.
Don't ruin this for me because today's the day, man. I'm going to get me some pizza today because Friday is the best day to order pizza. Best day of the week for pizza.
That 20 milligram kill is going to be 40 milligrams, 60, then 80. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what it is. I think it's 20. Yeah, right. It is 20.
It's going to be 40 one day soon.
No, listen, let's get back to the pizza, okay?
Just saying.
He's not wrong.
Today's the best day of the week to order pizza. I don't know why, but it's the best day of the week to order.
It's Friday.
It's just here's why. Here's what I think. If we get some nice hot pizza today, that means tomorrow I got some nice cold pizza. Do you heat your pizza up or do you just sit there and eat it cold?
I heat it up a little.
I'll eat it cold. I'll just grab a slice out of the fridge and but I'll heat it up too. I mean, it depends on my mood, but I like it both ways. I don't even mind.
I've heard that before about you.
Yeah, it's true.
About pizza, I mean.
Thin crust, they say, is the most popular type, at least at Pizza Hut. Stuffed crust is right after, then hand tossed. I don't believe that. I think most people just like normal pizza, regular pizza, right?
Normal pizza?
Just, original, just, hey, look, it's a pizza.
The best pizza is when you go to a true Italian place and they give you that really thin, oily crust where the thing just flops.
Yeah, right? And you fold it and
that's the best pizza.
Eat it like a New Yorker.
Yeah.
Robert from Surprise says, hey, I need your guys' address for pizza. Oh, that's right. Robert from Surprise has been trying to pay off a pizza bet for like the longest time.
For so long, actually, I don't actually recall what the bet was for.
Yeah. We got to coordinate that when we're all there.
Yeah, otherwise Keon gets it all.
So don't let me forget. Next time we're going to all be there.
Worst things could happen.
Yeah, he's okay with that.
No, I want some pizza. Hefty Lefty says, square Doritos are just another corner to break in the bag. Yeah, they're going to end up being regular Doritos anyway, aren't they? It's getting smashed. Swave Day says, I can't wait till oval Doritos come out. Oh, Pringles should make Doritos. Pringoritos.
Those aren't even real chips.
Doringles.
That's better.
I don't know, man. Whatever the case, I think they should make a version. I don't care that they're not real chips. I know they're part corn. I don't even care. Nobody was fooled by this. Nobody was like, it's amazing how they grow all these potatoes in exactly the same shape. Nobody.
There's somebody, I guarantee you.
We knew there was somebody mixing something in a bowl and onto a tray, and it was being cooked that way. I don't even care. Pringles are the hot dog of chips.
Mm.
You know, they're
Good way of putting it.
They're formed and then they're reconstituted and fully cooked. Robert from Surprise says, "Why doesn't Doritos make a scoop so it'll be easier for the bean dip? Because nobody uses Doritos for that. Doritos you just eat as is. Nobody's making nachos with Doritos. It sounds like wrong.
No, you could do that.
You could, but why? So much flavor on the Dorito without it. Nobody's dipping a Dorito, are they?
I've never done that in my life, but I'm
you know
sure
you could dip
someone
it in.
has.
You know you could dip it in ranch, but that'd be good.
Yeah.
Well, remember Taco Bell did the Dorito shells,
Well, that's different.
but that was basically
They
a
break
Dorito,
too easy. By
But it was
the
like having a nacho, but it was like Dorito with meat and sour cream and lettuce. It was like a
That's
nacho.
actually a good point. Yeah.
The Dorito taco
It
was
was good too.
was the flimsiest, easiest. It's like walking on the rice paper in Kung Fu, just like just easily destroyed.
It was the last thing I ate before I went gluten free because it just destroyed me.
That was the breaking
I can
point.
tell you a story, but it's honestly the last meal I ever had was a Dorito Taco Bell burrito taco.
And
Man,
then
it
your
ruined
body
me.
said, "That's enough.
It ruined.
You're done here.
What a horrible thing to end on.
Yeah,
You're done now."
my lining said no more.
Big George says, Jeffrey, keep doing what you're doing. I'm diabetic. Yeah, my blood sugars might be in the 200s or 300s, but when I take my blood sugar medication, you're damn right. I'm getting that milkshake. I'm eating that chocolate
See,
bar.
that's bad advice. That's terrible advice.
I don't understand. If it keeps your levels down, that's what it's for.
It's just masking it.
Well, it's not masking it. It's
phony.
it's
You want to
curing
get
it.
healthy.
I'm
no,
cured.
it's not curing.
I'm
Medicine
cured.
doesn't-
You're not
medicine doesn't
cured.
cure you.
If I take the medicine and I eat the salt, my blood pressure doesn't come up. I'm cured.
It's masking your symptoms.
Yeah, because you
Keep masking, but
better
I have no
diet.
symptoms.
I used to take 20, then I went on a better diet, and guess what? I got down to nothing.
Don't care.
You can do that. Don't care.
I'm eating great. You know,
that's why I lost a bunch of weight because my doctor was like, "Listen,
I'm not interested in weight.
you're too young for this.
Yeah.
You need to stop."
Listen,
So I did.
I'll start worrying about it if the meds stop working. They're
Oh,
doing
gosh.
fine. And here's
They'll
the
just
thing.
give you higher
That's
meds.
just
Good. Thank you. Keep giving me the higher med,
Until
and
they
I don't have
can't
to worry
anymore.
about it.
until there isn't a number they can give you that won't destroy you in some other way.
Exactly.
These things have side effects. You got to reel it back in, man.
I got no side effects. I'm doing great.
Right now, you don't have side effects. If you get to a high enough dose, you will have side effects.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think I'll go too high because my wife it feeds me healthy most of the damn time, and unless I sneak off and do something. So you know, yeah, I'm fine. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. But you know, I'm gonna enjoy. She's like pulling the yolk out of eggs. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you crazy?
Saving
That's what I
you
take
from
the
you.
Rosafedatin for. Come on.
Saving you from yourself.
I just like here. Let me just you. Here's the thing with egg whites. Let me put one yolk in there for color. She's like, no,
For color.
Like Big George,
just
Big
to
George,
give it a little something. I don't know.
we respect you. Stick to legal advice.
Nice.
Leave the medical advice to somebody else.
That actually knows what they're saying.
It's awful advice.
Magnificent Mr. Mormon says, wait a second. You're telling me Pringles are not all natural? I thought they came from special saddle potatoes. Yeah, the saddle potatoes. Yeah, they grow in Montana. Robert from Surprise says, I was over optimistic and believed that the Raiders would sweep Kansas City this year. Well, considering
That's
way,
the bet. Yeah.
yeah, your team
Which-
played.
They were
I think you made that bet preseason, didn't he? That's why he didn't know.
Yeah, but we also said preseason. We told him not to, and he insisted. So I mean, look, I'll take your pizza if you're giving it away, but didn't want to take it like that.
Robert, maybe your Raiders will hire Pete Carroll and you guys can maybe be better for a while.
When do you think these hires are going to go through? I thought we'd start to hear some news,
wanna
but
see
nothing.
Carroll's
It's only if the guy's not working, and a lot of these teams want coaches who are still coaching right now. Those are usually the best ones
Take
for a
Pete
reason.
Carroll.
It's a good point. Oh, well. Okay. So I guess we won't hear nothing. I mean, the GMs are getting hired. Some GMs are getting hired.
Yeah, like
somebody
that's
got hired today. I already forgot who that was.
The Chiefs executive got hired as a GM for, I think, the Titans.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, that's a big change.
Yeah. And then the Patriots, I think that Robin Glazier, after 18 years, is like, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and step down. I think I'm going to quit.
Mike Borgonzi got hired by the Titans.
Borgonzi. It's one of your people, Ralph.
Yeah, he'll find a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Carroll. Somebody needs to hire Pete Carroll.
You work
going to make someone an offer they can't refuse.
You work in the Chiefs organization. You hopefully have learned something.
Hefty Lefty says, if you're tired of taking the golf approach with your health, low number wins, then just start focusing on testosterone. You want NBA All-Star game numbers with that one. I had my testosterone test. Mine's fine. I got no problem with my testosterones. I have a problem with the fact my wife kept saying, make sure they test your testosterone. Like, what the hell?
No, there's a reason for that.
Why do you keep saying that? It's. I think at first I thought it's like there's nothing wrong with the old libido here. I'm chasing people or woo, yeah. But it's more about I think the fact that maybe I'm not so muscular anymore.
I think probably because the riser's broken.
The what?
The riser.
The riser.
You'll figure it out. Those blood vessels get clotted from high blood pressure, so you better watch out.
What is a riser?
Even Keon's got this one.
Is that in the penis?
Yes. Yeah.
Those blood vessels, they get clotted, when high blood pressure is in there. So
no problem with the riser.
Keep taking your pills.
I don't like that you're thinking about my riser.
Look,
you should probably keep your eyes on your own work, would you? Jeez. Robert from Surprise says, I think the Raiders should bring back the 4 coaches they're paying, and maybe together they'll have one brain.
The Voltron of coaches.
Bring them together. Yeah.
They've got to stop hiring guys and then firing them after 1 or 2 years. Like, it's really starting to get ridiculous.
Swave Dave says, Jeffrey, just add a little yellow dye to your egg whites. Still healthy, right? No. They're saying that all those food colorings are giving you cancer. They just said no more red dye number whatever. No more red. Because it was giving everybody the cancer.
Yeah, it's just red that's doing it.
I know. They really zeroed in on red.
Yeah.
Europe banned it 20 years ago. We just caught up.
Oh, all right. Hey, before we go to break, I just want to let everybody know Dunkin' Donuts in some states may be experiencing donut shortages.
That's ridiculous.
Are they experiencing dough shortages?
I don't know, Keon. It's donut. So the word dough is involved, which means there's dough that needs to be made the donut. So yeah, they're having dough shortages.
Because what I'm saying is then bakeries are experiencing dough shortage. Everyone is experiencing a dough shortage.
No. They had a manufacturing issue, they said. There's no specifics on that, but one of the suppliers, I guess, dropped the ball and they didn't have a backup plan. So I guess in several states, including Nebraska, New Mexico, I think Arizona. So, they didn't have any donuts for a while. So, yeah. So I'm just saying.
Poor diabetics.
This is going to affect a lot of police officers. Latina Leprechaun says, I just tuned into the show and I'm listening to Ralph and Jeffrey comparing their risers. I sometimes wonder why I listen to this show so vigilantly. Well, if you're vigilantly listening, how did you just tune in, Latina Leprechaun? You did 2 hours and 20 minutes non-riser conversation before then.
She wants to talk about the Riser King.
I think for her, that's her husband. We're just going to take a break. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. Brought to you by G-Bank. Earn cashback rewards on every eligible gaming transaction. vsin.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply.
The College Football National Championship Monday night at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, pinning Notre Dame against Ohio State and the 2 top scoring defenses in college football. The Buckeyes #1 in the nation, allowing just 12 points per game. but Notre Dame is right behind them at number 2, allowing just over 14 a contest. The Irish are looking for their first national title since 1988, while the Buckeyes won it all back in 2014. Ohio State is an 8-point favorite Monday night, and both teams minus 110 against the spread. The Buckeyes minus 380 on the money line, while Notre Dame is at plus 290. And the over-under 45.5, the over minus 115, under minus 105. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Terms and conditions apply.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-880-6363. That's 1-800-880-6363. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-880-6363. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at HarmanSolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to HarmanSolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's HarmanSolar.com.
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
It went in.
The People's Open is back. See the PGA Tour's best tee it up at the 2025 WM Phoenix Open, February 3rd through the 9th at TPC Scottsdale. Get tournament and ticket info at WMPhoenixOpen.com. WMPhoenixOpen.com.
The Weekend Warriors are hosting a super duper Super Sunday pregame show.
And you're invited. Join us on February 9th from 9 to noon at the Spot Neighborhood Grill in Glendale.
Of course, we'll talk about the upcoming big game.
We'll have special guests and great audience giveaways.
And you'll get to meet me in person.
They'll get to meet all of us in person.
Yeah, but I'm the best looking one of the bunch.
Anyways, join us as we broadcast live from the Spot Neighborhood Grill on Bell Road in Glendale.
February 9th from 9 to noon before the big game.
Right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Well, yesterday I got to find out my Colts are a home team for a stupid Berlin, Germany game next year. And today we find out the Dolphins are going to be the home team for NFL's first Madrid game. Yikes. I mean, I don't think Roger Goodell is going to be happy until every team has to play at least one game internationally. And you're thinking to yourself, well, how are you going to do that? One way is Roger Goodell's also saying the next logical step is for the NFL to have 18 regular season games. So he wants more international, and he just plain old wants more games. Okay, how far can this go? How far can this go? It took 43 years to go from 16 games to 17 games. Now it's like a couple of years ago, he's like, hey, let's have 17 games. And they had a big kerfuffle and, throw down with the NFLPA. They got it all done. Now there's 17 games. And now he's like, What we really want is 18. God. So how many games will they finally stop at? I mean, is it 20? How many games do you think we need? And how many games do you think the human body can take? This is not like basketball where you play, get a couple days rest, you're fine. This is a whole different animal. And going from 16 to 17, I felt was kind of a big deal. And a lot of people are like, oh, these guys make a lot of money. They'll be fine.
It was a big deal. And
it's like getting hit by a car every week.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, like, and when do they stop? When eventually the NFLPA doesn't cave. But as long as they can say to the players, like, this is how much money you'll be able to make, this is how much the cap's going to go up, and this is how much your contracts are going to go up. Like, and the players continue to agree, and really more the players union, because like not every player agrees. There are some guys who are like, now come on, man. I don't know. I don't know how sustainable that is. And the international games, like, I mean, yeah, Goodell's going to try and get every team eventually overseas at some point. And we're really close because I don't know if most of them have played, but I would say roughly half the league has already played an international game somewhere.
Well, okay, about the international stuff, all right, trying to find new markets, whatever. That's not as big a deal to me, I think, as 18 regular season games. I'm tired of losing home games to other countries. And now, if it's your team, you will care a little bit more about it, especially if you're trying to go to these games and you're a season ticket holder and that sort of thing. But I think threatening to go to 18 games, it's like, okay, is that enough? Is that too much? Is that something the fans want? You want 18 games? Here we were just complaining. Oh man, it's the end of the season. I'm going to miss it. But there's always an end. There's always an end to be sad about.
I want 20 games.
You don't.
This is what I want. This is what I want.
Year-round football.
I want 2 preseason games. Then I want 20 games. No Thursday night games. Abolish Thursday night because I think it hurts the players.
You understand that they're expanding the number of games precisely so they can have more games during the week.
Not what they're going to do, but I get it. And I hate international games for so many reasons. I think it's not fair to the players to have to do that. I think it can ruin things. If you have a team on a roll and now you got to go to England, I think it just messes you up.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But I think it's more detrimental to add more games than it is to go travel in the middle of your season. After a while, everybody's doing it. Everybody's going to get used to that. It'll become part of it. There's like, this is another thing we got to do. But adding more games on, more wear and tear, you start to drop the quality of your product. We see it right now. We see it right now with 17 games. You see all the injuries. You see all the people having to sit out. And then what happened in week 18? Nobody played. And it was just, with the exception of playoff, team, the playoff relevant situations, nobody else played. It was all third stringers.
And I think it's the Thursday games that really hurt.
I think a Thursday games definitely hurt a lot because they used to give you a week between them, and now you basically are expected to turn around and go back to your regular schedule.
Yep.
But I do think that if you have 20 games, the wear and tear of a 20-game schedule, especially when we're talking about those guys in the trenches who are secretly the most important part of the game, you start losing linemen. I think that's where the quality is really going to dip, and you're going to see it.
You're right. I'm just being selfish. I want to see football all the time.
Yeah, I want to see it all the time.
100% right, though.
But when you start losing, I mean, we already don't in this league have enough good offensive linemen to go around. Like, there are teams with good offensive lines, but most teams are just trying to be at average. And there's a whole bunch of teams that are well below that line. And like, you're going to see that affect the offensive line play and the defensive line play.
Quarterbacks getting killed.
Yeah. I mean, quarterbacks are going to take tougher hits. The running game is going to suffer. And just when it's starting to come back, it's just, I just think that we should realize we've got it good. And the other thing is, what do people say about basketball all the time, or baseball? There's too many games. These games don't mean as much because there's more. If you keep creeping this thing up, eventually these games are going to be valued less. They're not as rare.
You're right.
Just let's be happy with what we've got, because what we've got is pretty damn cool.
16 is a pretty magic number, I think.
I thought 16 was perfect. I don't know.
16 was fine.
Yeah,
Now we're
I
at
think it's the
17.
magic number.
Now we're going to go to 18. So I don't know.
Just greed.
Yeah.
But I
That's all it
agree
is.
with
And-
one thing Ralph said is they need to get rid of well, see, here's the thing. We said that, didn't we? Got to get rid of a preseason game so you can add on. But then we started to see the effects of less preseason when the seasons start. People are not really ready for it.
Teams are like how bad were our picks to start the year this year?
It was a mess.
Yeah, it's like nobody was good. And then that was before we also got like more injuries. Like teams, you get used to getting hit in the preseason. And then in the regular season, your body can handle it. If you're not playing those preseason games to any degree, the first time you get hit in an NFL game, I don't know what you're supposed to feel.
And you're only hurting the guys trying to make an NFL team, right? Because you take those away from them. Now, how do they get on these teams, right?
Yeah.
As a lot of these
It's
guys
harder.
come out of nowhere in the preseason and make a club.
And also, like, again, there's a lot of unnamed guys that are on these teams that got onto teams in the preseason. Your special teamers that are really important to where
Well,
you
yeah.
start drives in games.
Well, then they'll toil away in a practice squad just hoping that they get their chance because somebody else got hurt. You know, it's a whole different structure when you start to take away preseason games. You know, of course, we talk out of both sides of our mouth. We're like, you know, somebody, we don't want them injured. Here's the, you don't want starters necessarily in every preseason game, but the lunchbox guys, the guys trying to make a team or the guys you're trying to evaluate, you need as much of the preseason as you can. But yeah, and the other part is having not just the preseason games, but the practices leading up to it. I'm not a fan of the mixed team practices. It's another thing. But
I like
having the week of practice like you're preparing for something, I think that is a valuable thing and might be why some of the teams were more rusty at the beginning of the season. It's sort of a rhythm that you go for the practice leading up to the game, leading up to the practice, leading up to the game before you get to the regular season. And you might be carving some of that away. So, you know, if you take away a couple of preseason games, you got to have something else in its place to help that rhythm.
Could you get rid of the preseason altogether and just use the mixed team practices as that is your preseason?
Too many fights, man.
Yeah, but probably a lot less injuries, and you can see what you need to see to evaluate, and you give the referees opportunity to get going.
And
I like those practices.
And there were a lot of highly publicized fights, but just about every team did a mixed team practice, and they weren't all fighting. And like when it comes to that too, like when you talk about guys like Ben Johnson who are having a great year, like a lot of the trick plays and things like that, that mixed team practice is where they like to run it because there aren't cameras on top of it. You usually play somebody from the other conference, so you're not showing somebody in your conference or in your division something you'd like to run later that might actually win you a football game.
Historian says 18 games with regular roster of 62 plus practice squad. So you're saying is he wants to, if you're going to do that, you need to increase the roster sizes.
I
to 62
that's
from
more of a spend though.
But you'd have to just to have the bodies to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Wilbur says, Jeffrey, is there something wrong with the Harmon Solar fan pick'em contest link? Because it's not letting me or any of my friends in. Okay, let's take a look. I'm clicking on it right now. Oh, poolhost.com seems to be down. I wouldn't worry about it. Oh, it's lost their. Okay, here's what it is. I got through. You have to click on the thing where it says safe because it looks like their security credentials have expired.
Right.
It's just a dumb web thing. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. So you can get through that. Just hit where it said advanced. You know, when you first tried to log in, there's a thing and it'll say advanced. Click on that. Say just go through to the site, and you should get there. And I can say with confidence that you're not in any danger. You didn't put any credit card information in or nothing like that. So it's not a scam. It's not a virus. It's just their security protocol credentials. We have that for Fanatic and Money Radio too. And if that expires, we end up with the same dumb thing on there. So people forget sometimes. So there you go. Yeah, it's still working, Wilbur. You're good. Latina Leprechaun says, it's getting pretty ridiculous. They may as well just go to a 52 game schedule. Then we can have NFL game every week of the year. Problem solved.
Yeah. 300 man rosters.
Yeah.
She makes a compelling argument.
I mean, does she?
Playing in the middle of summer.
Just being nice.
Half your season's going to look like the awful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. Like,
I think she's being facetious. I don't think she's serious.
I know, but it's just, even as a joke, I'm like, that. My imagination, the image that I generated in my head is just awful. It's terrible.
Eddie V, that is an idea that I kind of floated. He says, throw in a couple more bye weeks, but keep it 17 games. Well, you can do that, and then that stretches out how many weeks you have football. But it doesn't change the number of games, but it might change the revenue for the NFL as far as the TV goes, because you have more days where there's stuff. It's kind of moving the cards around a little bit, but it's the same amount. But I say 18 games is better if you've got 2 bye weeks per team. Now you can do 18 games a little bit easier. Gives you a chance to rest, gives you a chance to recover some injured players and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I again.
And you can also have football every one of those weeks because other teams are playing.
Yeah, I do think that that's something that probably should exist already with the 17.
Makes fantasy football a little harder.
It sure does.
Probably want to make that an 8-team league.
That's a good point. Why don't we have 2 bye weeks now? We should.
Well, for the reason I just gave you. Not fantasy football, but there's revenue that is involved locally. So if you have too many bye weeks, that starts to stretch out and mess with stuff.
We take revenue away by going international.
I ain't going to argue with you on this one.
I mean, there's no difference, right? When a team like Jacksonville goes there for 2 times. So they're killing revenue in Jacksonville when they go to those games.
But it's replaced by other revenue. I think there is some sort of a concession that is made for the teams that do this because they'd be complaining about losing concessions and ticket sales and stuff like that. And,
I'll bet you the guys that work in the stadium aren't getting taken care of.
They're getting screwed.
So they're getting screwed. Yeah,
absolutely right. I hate this too. I'm just saying the teams, they are not going to lose money. They are the opposite end of losing money. They would not do this, and you'd be hearing owners screaming about this if there hasn't been some adjustments made where they'll get theirs.
I mean, is there
the only people screwed are the workers at concessions and us, the season ticket holders.
Is there a team in the NFL that loses money?
Loses money?
No.
There's not a single team.
They just make less than the others.
And this is the thing that separates like baseball from football. Because of the revenue sharing, because that's what the cap does. The cap basically keeps everybody at a point where the money is spread across. Because of the revenue sharing, nobody's losing money in the NFL. Every time the NFL makes more money in TV deals, even the teams that stink make money.
All right, listen, kids, we got to take a break. When we come back, we got on this date in Big George's sports history. I'll get back to the text line because a lot of people still have a lot to say about 18 games. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with any base. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Do you know about 211 Arizona? It's a free service to connect you with resources anywhere in Arizona. Housing assistance and eviction prevention, transportation and ride services. healthcare benefits, food resources, and even utility bill support. Talk to a live operator in English or Spanish 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Just dial 211 or visit 211arizona.org. Get connected, get answers, and get the help you need. This message is sponsored by 211 Arizona.
The GCU men's basketball squad is coming off their winningest season in 35 years, their third trip to the NCAA tournament in 4 years, and their first ever NCAA tournament victory. Returning 4 of their 5 starters in Ray Harrison, Colin Moore, Duke Brennan, and reigning WAC Player of the Year Tyon Grant Foster, the Lopes look to defend their WAC titles and make a run to the Sweet 16. With a non-conference slate including Stanford, Georgia, and crosstown rival Arizona State, you won't want to miss a moment of the action. So join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on the home of the Lopes, 1580 The Fanatic. Lopes up.
I'm an Arizona truck driver. I deliver food, medicine, supplies, and hope.
And during times of crisis, I support our communities. But every day I see people putting lives and families at risk.
Distracted driving is deadly, period. Be aware, be safe, and visit sharetheroadaz.com and find tips on how to drive safely around trucks.
This message is sponsored by the Arizona Trucking Association Foundation.
Now, you can be the guy that eventually gets bits and pieces of the latest news, or you can get the whole story when it breaks. The NFL is always in season here.
That's how we do it.
Follow us on Facebook or Twitter, or at 1580thefanatic.com.
Today's blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Wave Dave says if they increase the amount of NFL games, they need to increase the rosters also. And he says, go Lions. No, absolutely right. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. Art Stanton says when the NFL goes to 18 games, all playoff teams should get a bye week, and they should adopt the playoff format they use in the AFL, Australian rules football. It's awesome. No, I'm not familiar with that, Arch. Not familiar with that. But yeah, I mean, again, these are things that they'll have to sort out and plan for. And you know, the NFLPA has got to be in a strong position to make those sorts of things actually come true. Or else the NFL is just going to be like, I got another game. Here we go. Moldy Tuna Fish says, who's the best looking one of the bunch on the Weekend Warriors? He says, is it Ralph or the microphone sock he uses?
It's Phil.
Is it Phil? Phil's got an epic beard. You
Phil's
got to give him
sexy.
that.
I think he's shaving it, but he's pretty good looking dude.
Huh. Not something I'd say about another guy, but okay.
I'm okay saying that.
Yeah. It's got. I mean, I'll give him the manly thing. He's got a good beard.
I think he's shaving it.
Oh yeah, yeah. He told me he was doing it for some acting thing or something.
Yeah, they filmed that last week, so I think he's got it off now.
We'll
see this Saturday.
Tune in to see his bald face. Then if he says something, you say, you're a bald-faced liar.
You know, it's funny. Something popped up on the blender from me yesterday, and it was us on a show from back in 2020.
What?
And it was you.
Oh, a memory thing?
Yeah. It was. I listened to it. It was you. It was Steve was doing the board, and I don't know who the other guy was.
Steve never did.
No, he wasn't doing the board. He was there, but the other guy was doing the board.
Yeah.
And you were, and I would be on. I was on the phone, and you called me, and then we did like 20 minutes of picks. That's how we started. Remember?
What are you talking about? Where was this?
One of your shows.
I know, but why are you talking about this?
I thought it was interesting. It popped up, and it was
popped up where?
On my
your Facebook memories thing?
On my YouTube.
YouTube. I didn't know YouTube did a memory thing.
Yeah, it popped up, and I was like, "What the heck?" And I started listening to it. I go, "Wow,
what? That's the past, man. We're in the future."
I just thought it was funny how me and you would go at each other, and we barely knew each other. So anyway,
we've always done that.
Yeah, from day one.
So it's like absolutely no difference, huh?
It was a little tamer back then.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for that trip down memory lane nobody asked for. Eddie V says, hey, we need more cheerleaders. More cheerleaders. He's got a couple of texts. More cheerleaders. Really? Because I just not that impressed with the cheerleaders anymore. You know? Although when you sent me that that video,
yeah,
Rams have something for everybody.
Yeah, they do. They're equal opportunity.
Ralph sent me a video that Rams cheerleaders, there were dudes in there. I mean, like,
and honestly, they moved better than the Chicks. I thought they did.
They were pretty
good dancers, man.
Yeah, I think they're more dancers than cheerleaders.
Yeah, they were pretty darn good. But I thought you'd like it, so.
Oh, I watched it over and over again. My wife was like, "Get out of the bathroom." What do you think I'm doing? Stupid. Anyway, okay. Let's finish up with a little more football before we do on this date. Okay. Remember, you weren't here, but Keon, remember we were talking about the ratings for the wild card weekend, super duper wild card weekend.
Yeah.
And how it seemed like the numbers were down just a little bit. Well, now the final totals have come out and they're like, hey, wild card weekend, it dipped by 9.3% from the year before.
Wow.
That's not
a big number.
Yeah, that's not a small thing. And so I'm like, okay, why? Wow. Is it because during this wild card weekend they didn't have Taylor Swift in the box? Is it because the Cowboys weren't there or the Lions weren't there? I mean, what would cause a 10% drop? You know, I mean, 10% drop. Could it be that people tuned in and then the games were kind of like, okay, this is over. And then they just walked off. I wonder if that 9.3% drop had to do with the quality of the actual games as they were happening live.
I mean, that had to be part of it, right? Like we only had one actually competitive game, the whole weekend. And then someone mentioned it when we talked about it before, the streaming services that you have to go to find some of these games as well. Like you're watching one game on Prime, Peacock's got one of the other games, and some people are just not interested in doing that. Like
I think that hurts it. I agree with you.
Yeah. Like if you just have it on TV, people just watch it on TV.
Yeah.
So regular season, there was a 2.2% decline, but super duper wild card weekend, 9.3.
But I wonder how the Monday night game compared to the rest of the games as far as viewership. Because it was on ABC, wherever it is, and you would think that would have a higher rating.
At this point, the Manning brothers, they're considered closed circuit television. No, I mean the only people watching it is their families. The ratings have just gone way down on that.
But how about the regular, just the Troy Aikman, whatever?
No, I don't have that here as part of it, but it used to be 17.5 million. So I don't know. Listen, when we were saying 2.2%, you're like, yeah, okay, no big. But this almost 10%. That is something that's going to get your attention. So then you say, okay, the games didn't turn out that good. It's just life, or were the matchups sketchy? I mean, what causes that? I don't feel like we have less enthusiastic viewers. There's nothing that people are angry about. So,
if you looked at last year's games, there were some. Honestly, there were like two good games last year instead of just the one we had this year. Where last year you had the Texans beating the Browns half to death, 45-14. The Chiefs took the Dolphins' life away, 26-7, and that was that really cold game in Kansas City. But I think that you had Packers playing Cowboys, and that was actually a good game. For most of that game, and then you had the Lions and the Rams going at it in the wild card round last year. So I think those two games just by themselves probably had more pull than any of the games this year. As good as Commanders Buccaneers wound up being, is that the game that everyone had circled?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're just a casual fan and you're going on name brands that you recognize, like the Bucs and the Commanders just aren't it yet.
Can I block Moist One from sending images? Is that a thing I can do?
I think you can.
He just sent me a picture of a shirtless Geraldo Rivera again.
I knew it. The moment you were like, "Can I block Moist One from sending images?" I was like, "Oh God, it's shirtless Geraldo Rivera, isn't it?"
Yeah. I'll send it to you guys so you can see it.
I've already seen it. That's why I knew.
I feel like you guys need to see it, so
I have already seen it.
I know, but I think you need to see it again.
I do not.
I'm going to send it to you right now.
I do not.
Latina Leprechaun says, I can tell you why the ratings were down this year. Bad games. The only competitive game was Commandos and Bucks. Yeah. I mean, we get that. but we didn't know they were going to be bad games. Some of those matchups looked like that might be pretty good.
The worst rated game was the Monday night game. It was down 13% from some game last
and we didn't have upsets this year either. Like there were blowouts last year where the lower seeded team the team with the worst record won the game, including the Buccaneers stomped out the Eagles last year.
It has to do with fan bases too. Like the Philly Green Bay game had 35 million, had the most. It was the highest rated game.
Flog and Logger says quality of play, skewed officiating, expand those rosters, get that second bye, bam. So he's giving us problems, solutions. That's Flog and Logger. Can't argue with you, but I don't think you're going to get that second bye without an 18th game. I don't know. It doesn't matter what I think. Listen, the NFL is going to do what it wants. They don't care about what I think. They don't care really about what the players think. They are seeing dollar signs, and they will push this thing till it breaks. Only then will they end up we got to make sure we do what's right for the players. So we've decided to go back to 17 games.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they don't care. It took a movie and it tells the truth about the CTE thing. So
when 95 of the top 100 viewed things on TV over a year are NFL games, they're going to do whatever they want. And that's the way it is. So
yep. So we the only thing we can hope is that the NFLPA has enough power to at least try to get that second bye week in there, because that's the only thing that's going to save some careers, if you ask me. All right, guys, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1971, Jim O'Brien kicked a 32-yard field goal with 5 seconds left, leading the Baltimore Colts over the Dallas Cowboys 16-13 at the Orange Bowl in Miami in the most sloppily played Super Bowl ever. 11 turnovers in the game. Yep, that's right. We won. That's all that matters. I don't even care it's sloppy. I don't even care. I got 2 Super Bowls on my team, and this is one of them.
That was Unitas, right?
Since I've been alive. Well, it was Unitas till he got hurt. He got hurt in the game, and that's why Jim O'Brien came out, and he was a quarterback who also kicked. So, the Colts came from behind to win this ugly thing. They were down 13-6, and they had to come back from behind. So this is the only Super Bowl, and everybody knows about this. And I used to be embarrassed about this. Now I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. The MVP was on the Cowboys. Wasn't even on the Colts. Chuck Howley. It's the only time that's ever happened. And I don't care. We won the Super Bowl. We got the trophy. That's all that matters.
And anytime a guy that's on the losing team wins the MVP, he feels awful because he'd trade that MVP for the trophy.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl
so rub it
trophy
in. Yeah. Rub it in. All I know is you won an ugly game. Oh, the thing is, we won. That was the point. We won. Nothing to be embarrassed about.
Why do people say that? You won an ugly game. Who cares?
Yeah. The only words when you say a sentence like that, my brain just deletes everything you said, and the only things I hear are won and game. Yeah, we won a game.
That's for the viewer sitting there looking at the person next to him going, "Oh, dear God, that was an ugly game." You're goddamn right it was. This is horrible. I get. But
the Super Bowl where the Patriots beat the Rams 10-7 is, if you're a Patriots fan, obviously you'll take it. That game was awful to watch if you just weren't.
Think it was as bad as the Rams when they won it with field goals. Oof. That Rams Super Bowl win was not great.
17 collective points is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I don't remember which one was that.
That was the Jared Goff one, wasn't it?
That was a Goff one.
No, that was the 10-7 one.
I always think back to the Rams and the Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game where they won 9-0.
Yikes!
That was an ugly game.
Booger Wolf says Lions are next for a good kicking in the Donnies.
Wow!
Go Keon and your Salamanders. He really wants to support your basketball play. It's in his head that you play for a team called the Salamanders.
There's nothing to support.
Let's go with it.
I should start a team called the Salamanders.
I think so.
I don't want to.
I want to see their jerseys.
He doesn't want to play into Booger Wolf's fantasy.
Yeah. Just like you made the thing up. You made the thing up. It stays in your imagination. I don't know.
Talk about a fantasy. You hear Cam Newton. He's like, I'm not Superman to my kids anymore after I left the NFL. Dude, you ain't been Superman for even years before you left the NFL. Okay.
He had some fun moments even down the stretch, but
early on, but then later on at that injury, that was the end of it. He was still kind of hanging around for a while, wasn't he? But here's the thing that I thought. He's father to 8 kids.
Yeah, that's nice. You can't be Superman to them kids because you have 8 kids across too many different women.
You're paying super child support.
Yeah, it's like they don't even see you. How can you be Superman? They don't even know who you are.
It's all that child support that puts them on shows like Special Forces, World's Toughest Test. They say, and here's the thing: it's one of those shows where they say, "Join 16 air quotes celebrity."
He's probably the biggest one in the group, to be honest. Yes, I don't recognize any of those other people when they show them in the commercial. So
what's left of Denise Richards? She's part of it. What's left of her? Oh God, you know how they say there's microplastics and everything. There are macroplastics in Denise Richards.
Oh my God!
All right, guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday at 3 p.m.